bad Pachifornia League has grown, it has become home to many from all walks of life, from all around the world. And now, to celebrate where we came from, to celebrate who we are, we have created a new tournament to see what the world has to offer. 12 teams from around the world, trialed and refined to their very best, will now face off against one another in a double elimination bracket. 2 strikes and you're out. It's a worldwide competition. And in a worldwide competition, the only thing you want to strike is gold. Welcome to the BPL World Cup.
Oh my god, it's a 5K from Oxygenated with a pulse bomb!
But Sage is hot mustard, and all of a sudden this is anybody's fight. Drip difference are still in it. Massive pulse bomb from Sage!
What is that? Sage clutching it up!
Sonic holding on to the barrage, gets 3! Sonic from behind with 3 with a huge barrage, taking a crazy off angle once again. There's a lot of ults, there's a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter because it's just the effective high noon from Yancha.
But Signet hits another massive shatter. Oh my lord. He's so good. He's just so good.
A pretty big flux. The trance is there to keep the team alive. Oh, the bombs, the bombs.
Oh my god!
Wings, they got some wind missiles as well. They got grab coming in, it will land perfectly, and the windows fly through in terms of damage.
That's a 4K in that. Nitro Drive absolutely insane. Pomku with the 6K.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BPL World Cup B League stream here on the B stream. And it will be the lower bracket here between Pachifornia Palms and El Paso E-Daters. Both of these teams are playing for their tournament lives right now, as it is an elimination match. Whichever team loses here will be going home. And I am joined here by K-Wing as my casting partner here. Excited for this match coming up. We saw both these teams yesterday. And what are you kind of thinking going to this match? What is your vibe for these two teams?
I think that there's some names that obviously you recognize if you've ever really been in the tier 4 Overwatch scene. Alex Yoshi, of course, on E-Daters. We were talking about it beforehand. You love to see Alex Yoshi, an incredible tournament organizer, and now starting to play for the El Paso E-Daters. But there's some recognizable names, like I said, Obi-Wan, Kumis as well. A lot of really awesome people just looking at the El Paso E-Daters roster, and both these rosters are really impressive. I do like to see the look of the El Paso E-Daters in the way that they have a little bit more people in terms of the Pachifornia Palms have 7, if I'm counting right, 7 people. That is 1 sub for the entire team. El Paso E-Daters have so much more. They have 9. They have 3 people that can sub in. So you have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to different roles and different compositions versus Pachifornia. They're kind of just going to have either the people in these roles are going to have to be flexible, or they're going to one trick. And I didn't catch the match yesterday for Pachifornia, so I'm not sure exactly the comps that they're going to run, but we are going to Elios first, so that does give you
Well,
an idea.
I did catch that match. I was actually casting it. I was casting my B League sister team. Actually, I was on Atlantic A. Watched my Atlantic B team. Once again, Atlantic proving that we can speed run BPL World Cup. We both speed ran elimination. First teams get eliminated in both A League and B League. But
Yeah.
funnily enough, our B League team did a lot better. It was a map 3 banger. Pachifornia did take it out in the end. But it was a very hard-fought match. And going to Ilios here, funnily enough, it is the only control map that Pachifornia has played so far. They played it in their first game when they went to the lower bracket against the Nordic and Northeast combination team, which I'm not going to try to pronounce because I will mess it up. And they played Ilios again against Atlantic, and they won Ilios yesterday against Atlantic. They love that echo composition on that map.
Yeah, absolutely. The echo composition is pretty good. I am interested to see which sort of what map we get, sort of the 3 subdivided. If we get if we get ruins, or if we get lighthouse. Lighthouse is the third one. So it does sort of inform how you play, because you see a lot of Widowmaker on if you're on ruins versus if you're on well, you can see a lot of different things. I've seen some dives, maybe some bunker. There's a lot you can play, and it does come down to the comfort level and comfort picks of these teams, because these teams aren't exactly these teams are under 3,300, so that's sort of that diamond level, and yeah, and so you sometimes fall back on comfort picks, and that can be better than trying to chase the meta. I'm interested to see if they end up doing it.
Yeah, and we talked about Pachifornia a little bit there, but El Paso E-Daters, I think, we didn't talk about them yet, but I believe they are the favorite coming into this match. They played a very close game against the Florida B League team yesterday, and they took the first map. They took the first map, Oasis, and kind of not completely one-sided, but it was very strong, an El Paso E-Daters kind of map there, and I think overall, you look at this team, it has a lot of talent on it. Yes, the requirement was 3,300, but I mean, it was because of Roll SR, that kind of changes around. It won't be Ilios we're going to, because they changed the map orders around and everything like that. So it will be Dorado instead. So ignore Ilios. That's not a thing. Ilios doesn't exist, obviously. Not a real map. I wish it wasn't a real map, but unfortunately, Blizzard hates me and decided it was a real map. But we'll be going to Dorado here. Very interesting. Still can see a very similar style to what we're talking about on Ilios with that echo. I think probably one of the more popular compositions we're going to see in this tournament.
Yeah, it's definitely a composition that has dominated it's dominated ranked play, as well as we've seen some interesting takes on it in the Overwatch League. That's sort of 6-man as well. But there we go, where I think we're about to get loaded in. So as soon as we get there, I mean, I think we'll see. I think we're gonna have to have a restart, because not everyone is in for the lobby, which is interesting. We might have to
Kippis was not allowed
bit
in.
more.
Kippis was not allowed in. Kippis was they went in. Everyone else made it in, and then the bouncer at the door just said, "No, you're not allowed in, Kippis." Maybe that's trying to say something, you know. But I mean, looking at this team, because you didn't watch the Pachifornians yet, but they do have Squall in on that flex support. Bunny also played a map yesterday. They played their first map, which was Control, and they did a very good job on that flex support. And I think that you said they only have one sub, and they have been using that sub. They did use that sub yesterday. They had Squall in for the other maps, but Bunny did make that appearance, and I'm going to be interested if they make any other appearances today, because we aren't guaranteed to go to Control, and maybe Bunny is their Control player.
Maybe it might be a little bit like if you remember Pine from the New York Excelsior Season 1. Might be a little bit like that. Who knows? But I am excited to see just these two teams go out, because from the flashes we saw, we did see some dive. I mean, Dorado, it is that dive map. You have a lot of high ground that you can go to, and that Winston Diva specializes in taking control over the high ground and just going over and dropping down and going up, trying to focus down one target. It's the fundamentals of dive, and it is amplified here on Dorado. You can eliminate that sort of high ground pressure, and it's just immediate destruction.
So, Hippus made it in. Was not stopped at the door this time. So that's good. You like to see that, you know? You like to see them not get stuck at the door. And again, you said, looking at that dive, Echo making the appearance, not banned, is around. So we're going to be seeing a lot of it here as a very strong hero, as is kind of makes sense because of the ban. The stronger the hero is, the more playtime it normally gets, the more playtime likely to get banned. But not here. We no holds barred. We just fight it out. As I think this will be interesting to see it. Clockwise had a very good Echo the other day. I'm going to see if they can repeat that success here against El Paso. I mean, that's like one of those duels that's just so important, right? Because if your Echo is able to 2v2 kill the other Echo, that's just so much pressure gone.
Absolutely. I think you're also going to be looking at Kumi's, which is an interesting choice. Oh, goodbye, Clockwise.
Did not win the 2v2. Did not win the 2v2, and they did not expect Hot Dog on that Roadhog. They didn't expect him to be rolling out like that. Nor did I. Misses the second hook, but found the first. As a little bit of a call here to pause. We're gonna see a pause come in. Not actually.
No, actually,
a little bit of a. We do a little bit of trolling. You know, I'm gonna let the chat speak for itself. I don't have any comments. Just let the chat speak for itself. You saw what they thought. But I think Roadhog is interesting to run out on, right? I mean, it catches him off guard.
Yeah, the Roadhog's definitely interesting. Goodbye, Milky Boy. It kind of goes against sort of what we think of as the fundamentals of dive, and Eli's just ripping through everybody.
No diva. You can't stop it, really, right? Like, where's the diva to stop this Ashe? This Ashe is just uncontested on this high ground. And Roadhog, unfortunately, they haven't added it yet. He cannot jump up with Baptiste boots onto the high ground and contest that Ashe. So, you really want that diva. And I'm gonna be kind of surprised if they don't swap to it. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. I'm interested in Kumi's on the Reaper because you're putting a lot of faith into perhaps Vaporeon to win the Echo 1v1, and so far they have not been doing it, but with Obi-Wan falling, you're still just losing this.
And look at that Reaper. You just said he's just sleeping behind. He's probably going to lose his life. Okay, a little bit of a mess up on that Dynamite, but while the Reaper is kind of messing around here, doing not quite a lot, the rest of the fight kind of going the way here of Pachifornia, as I've been really impressed so far with this more aggressive style from their tank line and their DPS, while their backline kind of fends for themselves, which we did see against Pachifornia. They've been a really good job of just keeping up this aggressive tempo, and we see that again as Clockwise, like I said, is really quite something on that Echo, improving it here today. That's a 3K for them, and another reset. How does El Paso kind of break out of this? Now they have the McCree, but how do you want them to break out of this?
I mean, it's going to be tough. I think they didn't really respect Clockwise's Echo there. That's why Kumi's was on the Reaper. I think he was trying to counter the tanks when he should have been trying to counter Clockwise, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing.
It's going to be hard to get that res in. We see Eli dropping down here. We'll be living. Brow Daddy does hit a pretty good bomb there. Doesn't really get any kills, but may have forced some cooldown. Skybeam does have that Primal Rage to keep them up in that fight. And now Vaporeon going to be acting as that dive threat onto the backline. Has 3 lives here with that Echo copy onto Diva. Is going to use one of them right there. And now Echo's out of that mech. But in the meantime, that Echo solo bought the time of 3 other people. 3 people looking at the Echo and not the other team. Skybeam had that plan, but only so much you can do when there's 5 people melting you down. And now the fight should be going the way, especially with this bomb clearing it up, should be going the way of El Paso. And that's the first point, really, as there's some really staggered out kills here.
Yeah, that was a really expensive fight for Pachifornia Palms to lose. They used everything in the tank. El Paso did too, but they didn't have as much in the tank. They still had those ults charging. And so now, there's pretty much no one on Pachifornia more than 75% to their ult. And El Paso Eaters have that Winston ult and have the McCree ult. They're up in these ults, but now they really have to break this high ground hold, and that's not a way to do it by losing Kumi's right at the start.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a mirror comp, basically, except for Eli on that Ashe compared to that McCree. A little bit more longer range damage, but is a little, I don't even know if it's more susceptible to the dive, but isn't as able to like punish the dive as much, right? They can escape the dive, but they can't really punish it. Like you see right there, that's what I'm saying. That's a punish on the dive. You just stun them up and kill them. But High Noon's gonna come out behind that Mercy. They're just too low. The target locks down too fast. And Brother Daddy was trying to buy some time while they're losing that fight, but still they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose in the end, and I don't think this Ashe is gonna claw them back. Shouldn't be committing any ultimates either. But like I said, that Ashe can't really punish the monkey when they jump in. They can escape it, but they can't really punish it, as you saw Cummies do there expertly.
Yeah, that is the power of the flashbang. Ashe's Dynamite is a power tool to charge the ult, but the flashbang is really good at freezing a Winston in its place and just allowing your teammates to melt them down, but Hot Dog is going to get melted down now, and Pachifornia have a lot of ults to start to win this fight.
Well, Clockwise goes a little bit too deep, doesn't press that Echo copy, and now you've lost a lot of damage, a lot of pressure, and the Nano Monkey is coming. The bomb is expired, and you don't really have much defense against it. Looking for a sleep, but I think it's already been used as it's not coming out. Milky's gonna, there it finally comes, but the Tesla Cannon's gonna wake him up. The sleep comes out, but it's not really well communicated enough to the team to stop him from waking up. But luckily, most of the effect of that Nano Winston was mitigated. Now it's just on Brow Daddy trying to contest this McCree on the high ground, but they really can't. Clockwise, nice copy on the Winston, but an even nicer sleep from Alex Yoshi. And now Skybeam's going to have to keep himself alive as well. Worrying about that McCree all the same, the stun and the right click can do a lot of damage, but Clockwise is there to help him clean up. And now, after a pretty drawn-out fight, Pachifornia does come out on top and looking pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just the... It was just the nail in the coffin there, honestly, between these two. Just, that was an incredible play, an incredible kiting of that Nano Winston, like you were talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at this again, how do you want this McCree to set up? Do you want him to flank around and take all that time to go to the high ground? Because that's exactly what he's doing right now, but is that taking too much time?
I think when you're this low on time, you cannot take the time for costly rotations like
He's just on
rotations like that. If it pays off, it pays off, but this bomb is just going to soar high over, and Kumis needs to get something crazy here on the flank. He gets nothing.
Yeah, he did the flank, and you have to get something crazy, you said, and he didn't. Oh, a little bit of missed on the backline. You saw that Honor was super low. They couldn't finish them off in time before that nade came out. You're gonna see a res on this front line keeping Eli up. Almost has that Bob. Gonna throw that 1200 HP health pool onto the cart. Try and stall this for their tanks to come back. But you've lost Squall, and honestly, I don't know how you win this fight in a long term without that Ana. You're gonna have to stall for a very long time. The Bob doesn't even go to point. It's just gonna be basically a little bit of a better Torb turret right now, as it's not gonna have that 1200 HP body in anywhere that's important. And just like that, you can't sustain on the point long enough. You don't have Squall to keep your tanks up, and you just lose the fight. If that Bob positioning was just, it was a backbreaker. You couldn't sustain that fight any longer.
Yeah, the Bob just kind of sliding off the payload is just kind of unfortunate, but now Pachifornia Palms really need to use these ults that they have. They have 4 ults coming up. They need to use them to really put a stop here to El Paso, because they've got this ult advantage and they have the positioning advantage. They're able to take position on the high ground. They need to keep it, and they need to use these ults and get these picks. They have gotten it, and Eli is starting to pop off.
Interestingly, we see the swap here. It's going to be Cummies and Kippis swapping over to the Tracer Ashe instead of going for that more, except for going that Echo composition, or the pocketing the Echo, instead of pocketing that Ashe. Let's see if that works out for them. As we have this D.Va burning down here. You'll get him Clockwise, maybe? Okay, they finally get him with some help from that Ana nade, and the bomb does force out the Primal there from Skybeam, but does allow Clockwise that little bit of space. Oh, as the double punch comes in, and now it's just 2 monkeys hounding your backline. What are you supposed to do? Even with that Bob coming out from Kippis, nothing can be done, and the double monkey supremacy remains unchallenged. As now El Paso in the final moments here, I don't know if they'll be able to touch. They do, but will they be able to win this fight? You'll have the bomb, but there's the bubble straight for that one, and now now the Hanzo swapping over, maybe trying to get a random pick, but they can't quite find it. Just going down on this point here, throwing their bodies as much as possible, but you're going to run out of bodies eventually as the other ones hit the floor. And now, you see them, they're able to touch for just a moment, and while it does keep the wick burning for a little bit of time, it was not conducive to winning the fight. And this is just a slow burn to eventual loss right now, as El Paso will be getting stopped here, but still a respectable push there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you, of the two places that you would want the payload to be at the end of time, the first one would of course be at the end, but the second one would be pretty much where it ended for the El Paso E-Daters. That's right under the choke. You will be able to, if it comes down to it, hold right there. You have that choke point where it's very, very difficult to sort of flank around, and that's a place that you can hold. And we saw Pachifornia Palms hold it. You have the high ground. You have the choke point to fall back to. There's just so much going for you on the defense right where that payload stopped. So this is absolutely winnable for the El Paso E-Daters. But like you said, Pachifornia Palms, of course, do have that win condition now. They just need to push past 62 meters. And an interesting change up. It looks like El Paso E-Daters are running the Farah Mercy instead of the Echo Mercy. Different strategies. Vaporeon, the Farah is usually more for, I guess, just general damage more than the Echo is usually going to be used for more 1v1s. Echo has a lot of power in those 1v1s, and we'll have to see if Vaporeon is able to get more damage, or if Clockwise is going to win that 1v1. Eli on the Widowmaker could also be a bit of an X factor, but we'll have to see.
I think they're expecting the double, not the double sniper or anything, but as I was going to say something about Cummings picking the Doomfist for a reason, in that I don't expect Eli to play much McCree, but still, he goes down very quickly as Eli now is kind of free. There's no flankers. And I gotta ask now, if we see this fight kind of spiral out of control because of those picks, the beam is just way too much damage, and we do see the fight kind of spiraling out of control. You can't have a dedicated pocket anymore on this fair, as there's just not enough healing to go around, and Kumi's dead again. He comes back to die. I feel like it would be better served if they had a Tracer instead of the Doomfist. It feels a lot more consistent with that Tracer.
Yeah, maybe Kumis is going to stay on it, and Vaporeon, they're trying to stall out here, but Vaporeon has just not been having a good time with just trying to get the damage in with Clockwise there and with Eli there. You have a lot of damage coming in against you, and the stall just goes through, and that's a lot of time for California. And I think if you're looking at the ults now, there's nothing for the El Paso E-Daters. Nothing has been charged up. Alex Yoshi is the closest. There's the switch to the Tracy you were talking about, and there's Vaporeon getting picked again. There's 5 ults on the board. Clockwise is just ripping through El Paso. There's 5 ults on the board for Pachifornia. Almost nothing for El Paso E-Daters. This is going to be hard for them. They need to draw out an overcommit in terms of ults. Otherwise, they're going to have a bad time. They could just be snowballed here, honestly.
And I mean, looking at Eli here, he's really set up. He has that Diva protecting. Ooh, Mercy almost poked your head a little bit too far there. And this Ashe doesn't even know where the Widow is. They're not doing a very good job of tracking. And Eli is just free to reign right now. The Diva is prioritized somewhere else. Hot Dog can't stop that Widow from doing whatever they want. Instead, went up top ground trying to contest perhaps the Ana, but not managing to do much of that. And they're going to lose this next point as well. And we're going to see the force out, but even in Baby Diva, you get the full Diva mech if you copy. And while all this is happening in this tiny side room that doesn't have much significance, you're going to see the point go in. Now you're on going into third point here with 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And I think this is very interesting, because a very similar situation happened yesterday on Hollywood, where they had 5 minutes and 11 seconds to push into third point and capture it, and they didn't manage to get all the way. But it doesn't look like that will be a problem for them here.
They're just cleaving through already, and it's that ult snowball that I was talking about. El Paso Eaters are finally caught up, but they're just getting picked too early. And oh my gosh, Kumi's just gets completely domed by Eli. Goodbye, says Eli.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do. That's a res that eventually somehow gets off. You're going to try to see here if this Tracer can do anything with that res, but they don't. And not repeating the mistakes of the past here, it will be the Pachifornia Palms taking the map, not even needing more than a minute of that 5-minute and 22-second time bank. And they will be taking the first map here. I'm not, in my opinion, a bit of an upset here. I think a lot of people thought of Texas as a stronger team as a whole, but we have not seen that here right now. You see Eli and Clockwise be absolutely dominant so far, along with some interesting decisions from Texas in terms of DPS choices at times. And now we're going to be going in and seeing what they can change up to come back, because again, they only need 2 maps to win, and it's your tournament life on the line here. You cannot mess around.
Yeah, they cannot lose another map, and I think that really what happened in terms of how El Paso Eaters were struggling is that they had a little bit of a sloppy regroup, and that's definitely difficult. These aren't pro players by any means, but sometimes you regroup, you cannot get picked off. I remember so many times where one person would get picked off after the fight was over, and a team like Pachifornia, they're just going to take advantage of that. They're going to push in, they're going to take the 5v6, and they're going to win another fight off of that. And that's the snowball that happened. It was both ult snowballing in terms of Pachifornia were just charging their ults so much faster because they were winning these fights so fast. And also the fact that Pachifornia were able to find straggler picks of people who were just out of position after a fight had ended. And immediately, it just felt like El Paso couldn't put up much of a fight. So the good thing is that it's a very, very simple fix, is just to regroup a little bit more passively and pull back. And you can see the skill in El Paso Eating. Absolutely there, and it's absolutely possible for them to win this. They just cannot get picked off after the fight is over. They need to get off, or they need to get off the point, or they need to immediately die. You can't get picked off afterwards, because that is how that Dorado went so fast.
Yeah, and looking at this next map here, we know what happened in the past, we know what went wrong on that last map, but looking to the future, it is day 2, so it is a different map rotation than it was yesterday. It will be Assault or 2CP next, and of course it's the only day we will see it. If you are El Paso, you have that decision here. What kind of do you want to see? You have Nubis Volskaya, and I'm blanking on the other one. The Nubis Volskaya, and I know there's another map in there, because here's the problem with 2CP. It's just such a map type. It's Hanamura, SimTP map basically.
That's the one.
It's a map type that just doesn't sit well with me in a lot of times. So I kind of just try to just not remember it.
I mean, it's the only map type with 2 of its maps just not in the game anymore in competitive play. Like you can't go to Horizon, Lunar Colony, you can't go to Paris. Shame on you. You don't get to play those maps anymore. It's definitely a controversial map, I would say. That's definitely the nicest way to put that in terms of talking about Assault, because it's janky, I think, is the main difference between sort of a lot of the other game modes in Overwatch and Assault, is that you have a lot of really weird happenings of just, you win this fight on point B, but you're on the attack, so you still have to deal with stragglers, and if those stragglers get one pick on you, you might just lose the fight and not win the point, because welcome to 2CP. And it's definitely an interesting it's interesting because you have to sort of play this game of on point A, if your defense, you really can't lose a lot of people. And then on point B, if your attack, you can't lose many people, or your attack will fail, or your defense will fail, respectively.
Yeah, and neither of these two teams have played 2CP. And their A-League teams did. Their A-League teams did play the 2CP on the second day, but they themselves have not. I don't know how much A-League and B-League teams talked about things or talked about strategies or anything else like that. I would not be privy to that information for other teams. But it's going to be interesting to see what El Paso Editas wants to go to or what they think they're most comfortable with, because we haven't seen them in this map type before. We haven't seen what they preferred before. We haven't even seen what they try to run on any of these maps before. We can assume somewhat of what they want to run, as we saw the other day on Eichenwald. They wanted to run not so much. They like super heavy dive compositions. They weren't bad at them, but they did get outclassed a little bit at times. So maybe they don't want to go towards that. Maybe it's just a classic. Hey, it's Hanamura. We know what to do on these points. We're gonna sim TP to point, and we're gonna just brawl it out. And simplicity is always something nice. It's comforting.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes just plain simple is the way to go, and we do have the map choice, it looks like. We're going to Temple of Anubis. There's a lot of different strategies you can play, and I think it's generally based off of how you want to deal with, at least on attack, going through that first choke point, because it's tight, it's uncomfortable, and it's a place where spam reigns supreme. This is why Junkrat is possible on this map, because if you just point your grenade launcher down that main corridor, if it hits one person, it's hitting everyone as they're walking through, and it is so hard to avoid. So there's a lot of different ways to go around that. You can do a symmetric teleport. You can try and go through the side hallway, and there's a lot of different ways to maneuver around it. So I think it's going to be how both of these teams decide to work around that and decide to try how they want to try and push through that first choke point.
Yeah, one of those tough chokes in the game that's kind of iconic ever since the game launched. It was just always a meme with Anubis. You got Anubis, it's going to be a draw. That's because these points are very hard to push, as most 2CP points are, but this one has been especially memed on in many years that Overwatch has existed in this map. One of the launch maps, so we've had to endure it all those years. There's been no hiding from it, no safety from it. And interestingly enough, we do see, as I mentioned, they do have that kind of swap going on in Pachifornia with Squall and Bunny. Bunny's in. We saw them on Control before against Atlantic, and now we see them on 2CP. Interestingly, and it's not that they swap every other map, because they did have Squall in, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I am, anyone who knows, but they did not play Squall 2 maps in a row. They played Squall 2 maps in a row on the Atlantic game, so it's not every other map. It's definitely the specific maps.
Yeah, interesting sort of composition from Pachifornia, because you have this double shield, but I'm a little concerned with the idea that you don't have a lot of people who are going to be behind the double shield. A lot of this thing with bunker is you set up the bunker, and then you put everybody behind it, and then you all sit there and you all shoot people. And you have the Pharah, who's going to be up in the air. She's not going to be using it. And the Widow, who's going to be a lot further away. She's not going to be really using it as well. So, it's definitely difficult, and goodbye, Coomer.
Doesn't need the shield, apparently, to get some damage down here. Takes out the Ashe, which is kind of what they're relying on to take out this Pharah. Interestingly enough, Kipnis, or Vaporeon, has swapped over to that support, and we have Spyros in on Genji. Now, Genji classic on this point because a lot of this point is just waiting for a nano, so why not have a Genji in there? And he does go extremely low, a lot of poke coming out from this Pharah, but again, you don't have anything to deal with it. You don't even have a Diva. You have that Zarya. This is a full, like, we're gonna combo in a nano, like, we're waiting for nano. That's our win condition. Our mid fight is not gonna be nearly as effective. As we actually see here, it's going to be Clockwise hunting this Genji, walking back into the sightlines of the Ashe, but doesn't lose their life for it, and there's the direct comes in. As Cummies is looking at the Pharah, Eli is looking at Cummies, so not much they can do about that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's an interesting composition, as now El Paso Eaters are switching to an interesting variation on Rush, but Vaporeon Clockwise is just going to rip through their team. Goodbye and good night.
I mean, what do? You've swapped now over to the McCree Widow, but I don't even know if that solves the issue entirely because you're running this rush composition. You have this Widow. Now the Widow's going to lag behind. What's stopping this Pharah from just concussing mining in onto the Widow and just like basically one-tapping her with that Mercy Pocket? Not much, as they're going to go in behind for this barrage. Don't find anything there. A little bit unfortunate. Obi-Wan is a little bit out of position here, but Cummies is now fighting into a defensive Widow that also has sights on them. And now it's just kind of come down to, can the tank line here for Pachifornia survive the onslaught? And Eli won his duel, and the tanks have lived long enough. Now their DPS should be coming back very shortly. And a really nice Sleep Dart and Anti onto Milky Boy there. And this fight should be all they wrote, but a very nice late pick if they can't get the res off, but they do. So now again, reset back to default, and all you've come out of this fight, if you're El Paso, is a Graviton Surge, and you're feeling pretty bad.
Yeah, the grab's a good ult, but you need to. It's really good if you can combo it. There's not a lot of good combo potential really with the grab, so I'm interested to see what they do with it. Well, they're not going to do anything with it with Hot Dog dead, but I think also, yeah, I don't know.
I'm just seeing these players play leapfrog right here into this Widow. I don't know if that's what you want to do. We will see Cummies can't take the duel. No shots are hit from either side. Everyone's just... Now look at that. Cummies has to take a duel with both a Pharah and a Widow at the same time. And that's just... You're not going to have much value out of that Widow there. It just does not match well at all with the rest of the composition. The rest of the composition leaving that Widow behind, and now they're just all in their own little bubbles here. The Zarya is stuck at main. You have these supports and this Reinhardt going top. Hot Dog trying to join them. Going to take so much pick, might even lose their life point. That they do. The pull is massive, and this is just not good for Texas.
Yeah, this is really rough for them right now. They do have a few ults. They're not even going to get to use it without their supports just dying.
Supports are dead. We see Cummies swap over to the Soldier because playing Widow just got too much for him, for them. As I mean, look at this. It's not much they can do right here, right? Like you're walking into all this damage.
Yeah, they're really trying to. The grab comes in and Clockwise just gets the barrage. Oh boy, El Paso have got a tough road ahead of them. They can't even win this round. And I mean, good on Clockwise, of course, for the really good Pharah play. But for El Paso Eaters, they tried to change up their tactics, and they just weren't. They just kept getting picked in the early stages, and they could not get through that choke. The only way that they can really win this now is to do the same thing to Pachifornia, and really, if you're looking at this from a momentum standpoint, that's going to be tough to do. An almost complete mirror, except for a Zen swap from Obi-Wan? And the Hog from... The Hog from El Paso Eaters. I think maybe
Pure comfort.
That might be maybe a pure comfort pick. I think the Hot Dog Roadhog is probably a comfort pick because it's definitely, like you said, Hog has not taken Baptiste's Exo boots just yet, so he's not able to really do a lot of those dive maneuvers. But we'll have to see how El Paso handles this, because they cannot give up a pick. They can't have anyone get picked.
And they almost get picked right there. Not enough damage though, as the hook does come out. And now you're going to see Cummies here trying to push this fair duel. They don't quite find the damage they need, however, as Clockwise is going low, but so is Cummies. Cummies in that air, trying to live long enough. And now the Zen, way out of position, has to get the full pocket there from Kippis. And not even that is enough. While the pocketing the Zen, the fair is just going to go down here. And now Eli a little bit more free to do their thing. I think it's super interesting we've seen both these teams go to Widow, not something we normally see. But now we're seeing why Hot Dog plays that Roadhog. We see him yoink the fair out the air, and now kind of a little bit of a lull, a reset if you will, before this next fight kind of breaks out.
Yeah, not a full recall from Pachifornia, but now Bunny has gotten this nano so fast. Eli goes down though. We'll have to see if they invest. Bunny's going low. El Paso have gotten a lot of their ults though, so they might be able. They're still holding on, but it's still a lot of time for Pachifornia.
Gonna see where that nano goes. I'm highly assuming it's gonna go to Skybeam, but maybe they're thinking he's close enough to ult. They want to put it on Clockwise to get some damage done. And we'll see here, the Valkyrie is first to come out, still holding on to the nano. It does go on to Clockwise. No, Brow Daddy, actually. And we'll be going on to that Diva, trying to keep them alive, I suppose. Now the nano here from Kippis, though, did go onto that Hog and doesn't find the greatest amount of value there. Gets slept up, gets kind of melted down. And the Trans there to try and save them. Clockwise is a little too deep in the backline, but I mean, look at this. Milky Boy is trying his best, but Eli goes low to Obi-Wan, but he's done his damage. He's gotten 2 kills so far, and he doesn't look like he wants to stop just yet. Gets some healing, and now it's time for the rest of the team to clean up after those amazing picks were found. This Ben's in a corner getting beat up by a monkey, and now Hot Dog can't even control this point for much longer, and that will be the tick going over, hopefully, here, as the Tracer does go down. Again, this is just weeks, again, of that Dorada, right? Where they're just running in, putting bodies on that point, but they can't do anything about this. And surprisingly, in a strong 2-0 fashion, it will be Pachifornia taking the win over El Paso Edators. Sadly, we lose another. We lose a great branding here. I do love their team brand, the Edators, and also their Discord logo. Quite nice, quite like it a lot. But sadly, they'll be going back to Edating and not playing Overwatch, which 2 separate things, mutually exclusive. They don't exist together.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is unfortunate, I think, because, like you were saying, El Paso Edators really did such a good job in round 1 against the Savannah Soyboys, taking it 2-1 in just such a close match, like you said, and then falling like this to the Pachifornia Palms. It's really unfortunate, but it does look like we have a little bit of interviews with Bunny and Shadow from California. Welcome you two. How you guys doing?
Hello.
I'm doing good. I'm very happy with
we're doing quite well.
game.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to interview. I think you both of you weren't in the interview yesterday after the Atlantic game, correct?
No, I don't think.
I wasn't in the interview.
Yeah, two new voices here to talk to about this match and kind of this run that they've been going on. Again, big congratulations! You go 2-0 after a much more drawn out match yesterday. I suppose it must be a breath of fresh air to get a pretty quick one under your belt here.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that. I'll let Bunny go first.
Well, I think in scrims we've always done pretty well, and I've been pretty confident in our team. So it's good to get back on a roll and have everyone get a win again.
Yeah, we're feeling pretty dialed in, so I am looking forward to running through the lower bracket.
Yeah, so it looks like you guys are going to be facing the loser of the Northern Grizzlies versus Sunrise match. Is there either of those two teams that you think you would be a better matchup against, that you're looking to settle maybe some personal scores with, or you just gonna push through for whatever comes?
I think we're ready for whoever comes our way.
Yep.
I don't want to beat up on Ippy from Sunrise. Ippy's a good lad.
And I mean, I want to ask something here because I saw this yesterday against that Atlantic game. Bunny, you and Squall, you swap out on different maps. Is it a specific map type sort of thing, or is it like just specific maps in general? Because if I remember correctly, Squall did play 2 maps in a row, so it's not just every other map.
Well, me and Squall kind of have like a duo dynamic. We play a lot of Overwatch together, but I normally play maps where we play Babon, and she plays maps when we play Ana.
No, because I mean, even so, both of you are quite incredible on that flex support. So either way, you guys have a very strong flex support in that map. And I mean, looking forward here in this bracket, you went down early, but you've bounced back almost immediately with 2 quick wins. How far do you guys expect, and how far do you guys like want to go? I mean, obviously you want to win, and everyone wants to win, but like, how far do you expect compared to those wanting to win?
And like I said, I think we're feeling pretty dialed in today. Pretty much everybody on our team. So I'm looking forward to going to the end.
I'm looking forward to playing more maps with the team. If there's one last thing I could say, this is the first game my mom has watched me play. So and she is watching the stream on the couch with my dog at the moment. So hi, Mom.
So everyone in chat, say hello to Bunny's mom. Only nice things in there. Only nice things in there, or we're gonna have some issues, chat.
No cursing.
Yeah.
I will kick your asses personally.
Yes. So only nice things, and only feels good, man. Only feel happy. Like white people happies in chat. Those are good too. We like those.
Some white people happies.
Yeah. But anything you want to add, K-Wing, before we leave?
No, I think we're all good. So congratulations, Bunny. Congratulations, Shadowcast. And good luck going forward in the tournament. Hope to see you back on the stream again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
Yeah, that was 2 support players there from Pachifornia Palms after they win and take that game 2-0 over El Paso Edators. We will be seeing them later in the day, as was alluded to by K-Wing. They are going to be playing on the A-Stream 3rd game against whoever wins the next game, whoever loses the next game on this next series we have on this B-Stream. So do stick around for that. That's going to be very interesting. It will be Grizzlies versus Sunrise. Both those teams in that upper bracket looking to stay up there and away from elimination. Elimination games are quite stressful, and no one quite wants that. It's bad for your skin, I've been told. And so, I mean, that's going to be a banger of a match coming up very shortly, as we're looking to get through maybe a short break in before we do get to that.
The bad Pachimari League has grown. It has become home to many from all walks of life, from all around the world. And now, to celebrate where we came from, to celebrate who we are, we have created a new tournament to see what the world has to offer. 12 teams from around the world, trialed and refined to their very best, will now face off against one another in a double elimination bracket. 2 strikes and you're out. It's a worldwide competition. And in a worldwide competition, the only thing you want to strike is gold. Welcome to the BPL World Cup.
Oh my god! punctuated with a pulse bomb.
But Sage is fun mustard, and all of a sudden this is anybody's fight. Drip difference are still in it. Massive pulse bomb from Sage. What is that? Sage clutching it up.
Cynics holding onto the barrage, gets 3. Cynics from behind with 3 with a huge barrage, taking a crazy off angle once again. There's a lot of ults, there's a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter because it's perfectly effective high noon from Yancha.
But Signet hits another massive shatter. Oh my lord. He's so good. He's just so good.
A pretty big flux. The trance is there to keep the team alive. Oh, the bombs, the bombs.
Oh my god!
Wings, they got some wind in their sails as well. They got grab coming in, will land perfectly, and the windows fly through in terms of damage.
That's a 4K in that. Night Drive absolutely insane. Pomku with the 6K.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back here to the B League stream here at BPL World Cup B League. We are going to have an interesting match after that last one wrapped up quite quickly, in fact, with a quick 2-0 there for Pachifornia over Texas, or El Paso it is, as they are called. We do have Northern Grizzlies, aka Canada's B League team, and Sunrise, who pretty sure is EU West. Yeah, EU West B League team. So going to be interesting here. Both these teams in that upper bracket, hoping to not go down and play for that elimination in their next couple games. But again, I am joined here by K Wing, the run back of the cast after that last one here. So what do you think about this match? I mean, it's upper bracket. You got Canada's B League team. Obviously, Canada took home the trophy in that A League, so a lot of expectations on Northern Grizzlies as well. And Sunrise, their A League team, didn't have quite as fortunate a run as Canada's A League team did.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that just looking at the two sort of the two matches that these teams have been in, for Northern Grizzlies, it looks like they won 2-1 against Maize, so a close game. Versus for Sunrise, they just 2-0 beat Crazy Capybaras. And I actually did cast that match, I believe, and it was definitely a very dominant performance from a Sunrise, putting themselves as a scary team, and I think that they have the potential to carry that forward into this game against the Northern Grizzlies. But they're going up against definitely a team that is not that's definitely scarier than most people would say than their first opponent in Northern Grizzlies.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if we mentioned this about that A stream or not, but Maize to take the 2-0 over Crazy Capybara, Latin America, is out quite quickly. Not as fast as Atlantic. We hold that crown. We'll never take that away from us. And so now that Maize has gone up 2-0, they're taking out Latin America. It is on that mainstream there. It will be the Jokers, which was the Northeast Nordic fusion, if you will. Obviously has Donk on the team, so it's a Donk team. It's what you expect from Donk, and they are against Savannah Soyboys on that A stream. And later, of course, we said earlier they will have the Pachifornia against the winner of this loser. That's lower bracket. The loser of this game here. So, gonna be interesting to see what ends up happening between these two teams. That obviously we'll see them later on today. Actually, they have they're playing 2 matches back to back. While it isn't like the craziest thing in the world, especially with matches only going to 2, it is something. It is something. You can't understand it. It is something.
It is something. You do have to say that. I think you do bring up a good point, though. With exhaustion could come into this with that sort of when you're playing so many games, like when you're playing so many games of Overwatch in a row, especially competitive Overwatch, coordinated Overwatch, and like this, it's so much more than it's so much pressure onto you that you might start seeing some mistakes later in the night that you might not see earlier in the night. But looking at both these teams, Northern Grizzlies with PSPY on the Diva, we have it looks like 2 different variations of the dive coming through with the Winston Diva on both sides, but a PSPY is on Sunrise. I lied. Just checking to make sure you're paying attention. I lied again. When do the falsehoods stop? I'm lying so through my teeth the entire time. My name isn't even K-Wing. I'm lying to you. Everything's false. Everything's a lie. And we paused.
You know, it happens. Production, not the easiest thing. Loading production myself, not easy. Let me tell you that. Rather the cast most of the time. It's way easier. I just gotta get here and yap. I'm not dealing with that. I don't get screamed at by chat when things goes wrong. Not all the time. Sometimes. I've had some people say some things about my casting. Not on this league, but other leagues. People get angry. But production really hard. So we'll be coming out here is Sunrise on that defense here on that blue side. Will be Northern Grizzlies on that right side. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea who Cock Johnson Cock Johnson is on this squad. But you know what? They're doing it. They're doing it right now. They're on that attack. Look at these 2 compositions. A little bit different. You have Sombra Reaper, interestingly enough.
Yeah, you do have the Summer Reaper, and I think that will be good when it comes down to trying to counter the dive. A lot of damage going to come in from those 2, but it'll be difficult to deal with that Echo Mercy combo coming out from Northern Grizzlies.
Yeah, and instantly though, you do have Rise or Rize. It wasn't specified in that in the sheet, but you do have them going down very early on that Samba. Not something you normally see. Usually a pretty safe character. And now Reaper going low, but everyone else body blocking that beam, and everyone in this small room just really helped out what Sunrise is going for, right? They're a much more closer ranged composition, and they even commit the nano very late. Now, they're doing a really good job, this Monkey and Tracer. They're killing everyone. They're just murdering everyone. A little bit of a TP. Don't know why you TP there. Maybe a misclick. But Flappy doing a really good job as, funnily enough, Cock Johnson there and Trisky doing a lot of damage to that backline and taking them all out. So they've kind of flipped in a lot of ways, but the respawns will get caught out. Never mind. They will be resetting instead.
Yeah, they will reset. Northern Grizzlies now have to reset, and Sunrise have so many ults. They are so close to all of them, everyone within 20% of their ults, and it's just one for the Northern Grizzlies and that Diva Bomb. Here it comes now. We'll have to see if Feet will be able to get something out of this copy. Here comes the bomb.
Now we have 6 ultimates on the field here. Now that TP makes a little more sense, dodging the bomb there. And I'm ready to get flashbanged by particle effects on my screen right quick. We do see the bomb come out and the remake kill. PSPY does a lot and eats the pulse bomb, just doing everything in their power here, but that's just not enough. Waifu though does find the Ana, so this fight is turning in their favor. A lot has been done, and you're still holding on to a lot of key ultimates. That EMP is still alive. Flappy didn't get that ult up before they died, so we'll be coming back with that. And now the EMP going to be thrown out. Hits a 5-man. Only thing they're not missing is the Ana. But even through that, they still find 3 picks here for Canada. Their EMP, no abilities. They still can find the kills. Flappy finally throws out all ult, and now they're out of the bank is empty here. If you are Sunrise, you've used everything and you're still losing this fight, but there's nothing left available besides that nano, and it does come out Trisky getting that primal because of it. And now Flappy just trying to stall this point out with that Wraith form, gets slept. Very nice sleep there, will lead to their demise very shortly. No Wraith form to keep them alive. This baby Diva is the last one to get cleaned up on this point. Rise throws that translocator into the wall, gonna not even get a touch off. And a nice hold there in a lot of ways from Sunrise, but now they could potentially snowball onto the second point.
Yeah, that's a testament to teamwork from Northern Grizzlies. To be able to get EMP, to have a 5-man EMP come in and still have the target focus to get 3 kills during it. Incredible teamwork, incredible coordination, and mental as well. To not panic during an EMP. You've pretty much completely flipped this ult bank on top of its heads, as now Northern Grizzlies are the one with a massive ult advantage. 3 coming up compared to nothing for Sunrise at this point.
Yeah, and you have Feet. Okay, these names are quite interesting. These names are quite interesting. They're making me chuckle. But we will see. Cog Johnson here on his backside just thought the pulse bomb doesn't quite find anything. The monkey jump was already in, pushing them back away from it. Flappy trying to trade him out, and that they do. Now it's going to be Rise in this backline looking for this Ana. Will they get slept? Not so quite. They're going to get forced out by this Echo and this Diva, but not even that. Gets the manual hack off onto Feet Fondler. They cannot escape with their boosters or anything like that. Does go a little bit low, but Samba still in that backline finally TPing away. But they almost have that EMP for this recontest, and look at the ult bank here for Sunrise. This is what you want.
It's what you want. It's what you really, really want. You've got all the ults. Sunrise have been just banking these ults. Here comes the EMP. The nano is there to keep some people alive, but there's just enough.
Press Q. We can blind them with our ultimates, and we can win the fight. But in all reality, they do end up pressing 3 really important ultimates there, and they of course will win that fight. Not much of a response there. Except now we see the swap over to the Moira. I'm interested to see if we watch Funjin swap over to Lucio as well. And if that means more for what their composition might be changing into, because normally you don't want that Moira with that Mercy.
Yeah, the Mercy Moira is a really interesting composition. I think you want the Mercy for Feet Fondler for the Echo. But I think Sunrise, they should have some good ults to rotate in here. They do need to charge up those 3 ults, like these 3 important ults like you were talking about, but why just get picks? He just gets picks.
Gonna just be resetting here. You only need that coalescence, such a strong thing. No C9, we saw plenty of that yesterday. Don't need any more of that. As another reset coming out here. And I mean, now the ult bank kinda goes back into the way of Team Canada here, but still trying to kill Waifu, and they do manage to do it. A nice catch out, someone that went a little bit too deep, thought they were safe. The bomb as well on that point. Not gonna find anything, gonna zone them out though. Gonna force some boosters there, as Trisky's gonna lose their life instead on the engage. The bomb out onto the point to keep themselves alive, to keep themselves up and healthy. And now I don't really see how you have a hope of winning this fight anymore. You've lost 2 very important members, and the respawns are coming.
The respawns are coming. I almost saw Rain go down there. And that could have been really big for Sunrise. They could use these ults right now. I think you have the EMP, you have the Death Blossom. Here's the EMP, here's the Death Blossom. Good night.
Yeah, gonna be finishing up this fight. Not much you can do. Is a 6-man composition here for Team EU West. Some people look down on that. Some people think, hey, it's not as you know, it's not man-to-man fighting. But you know what? That doesn't stop them. Okay. That doesn't stop them from running it. They just want the win as much as possible. And in regards to this name situation, I've narrowed it down to who Cock Johnson and Feet Fondler are. It's Cameron Pericles. Paracelsus. Sorry, Paracelsus. Paracelsus. I don't know. Paracelsus. Maybe he's making that. Names are hard, man. Another thing, names are hard. But one of those two teams. One of those two players. They're playing DPS right here, and they have different names. I even checked the Discord to see if I could see like the Discord names. No, they're all called Canada Hayden. So it doesn't even glean any information from that because they all have the same name in Discord too. So don't know which one is which. Don't know which one is which. But they're there. Those are the two players.
Tell us what you think in chat.
Tell us what who is it? Play a guessing game. If you win, you win nothing.
Johnson? Who's Feet Fonder? Yeah.
Maybe you do know. Maybe you know more than me probably. I
don't.
I'm just good names though. Good names. As they looking at this team, Canada had enough on that last round. They will just be matching the 6-man. They go, and you guys pulled out this comp, we'll pull it out too. We wanted to play honorable, but now we will play your composition towards you, and we'll just run each other's space and press our Qs when we need to. But interestingly, in this mirror matchup, I wonder, it really will come down to the Sombra, I think. Who will get more value out of the neutral fight? Besides that EMP, who's going to get better manual hacks?
We will have to see. There comes the dive from Sunrise, and oh god, Johnson has to teleport away already.
Yep, Sombra is already forced out here. Gonna get that orb eaten up right there, and now, I mean, you're just kind of waiting. The manual hack comes out on the Reaper, and you instantly turned around and deleted. They're trying to break down this Reaper, who doesn't have their Wraith available, but the peel is excellent. The DM is there. The Moira shooting all the healing straight on top of them. The Moira forced to fade out. Now you're on the back foot, and that's never what you want to be into a 6-man composition, because they have all the resources available to push onto you while you're running away. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get a lot of damage here, a lot of ult charges forming up here for both of these Moiras, as really that Coalescence is going to be the first ult popped out here, and Phantasma has the 10% advantage on it, as Flappy takes out Trisky with a little bit of a risky dive there, as you're just kind of pushing in for no reason. But Phantasm does have that first Coalescence to come out. Finally, Rain going to have the second Coal. Missy does have that beat before Funjin. It's going to come down here. Will they pop the beat? Do they even need to? Flappy's found another one. Been a really nice job here on that Reaper. The EMP gonna get forced out there. Don't fight staggering out any longer than it has to be. And Sunrise here is looking to take this. Is looking to try to take this map in dominant fashion.
Absolutely. I think the EMP. It's definitely really good stall from Northern Grizzlies that Rise felt the need to pop out the EMP. Because that is a crucial ult that you do not have. But I think this next fight is going to be an ult fiesta. You have 5 ults on the side of Northern Grizzlies, 4 on the side of Sunrise. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be insane. Let's see how it happens. Here comes Flappy.
Flappy is off. Flappy is gone. Waifu also gone, but in a more permanent sense. As Canada playing for Team Canada. Canada finds the massive bomb there to clean up the fight. They were already in a strong position, but that's going to end it super quickly there now. I mean, you have 4 ultimates here, all on those squishy characters, and they're pretty good ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, with the Canada bomb, it's just the power of Canada squared. You know, it's Canada playing for Canada, Canada squared. It's just it's the play. And oh, that EMP doesn't catch the Lucio.
Only finds the tanks there. The counter beat is going to be available, but I think that is a little bit of a mistake perhaps there to maybe commit that counter beat. I don't know. You want to secure the fight as much as possible. Now going into this next fight, you only have that Coalescence and the double tank ults, and even the Coalescence of their own, and of course that EMP is not too far behind.
Yeah, the EMP, Cockjohn doesn't have a lot of time. You have 3 minutes there. Rise so close to this ult, and Northern Grizzlies have nothing really to do except just this Coalescence coming out, and that's all they really have at this point.
They don't even have that anymore, as it's just taken away by that bomb from the D.Va there. Really nice target. Someone that can't fade is someone in that coalescence. Now the monkey gonna have to get away from that bomb. Isn't able to stop the remake, and Rain has lost their life before they're able to use that coalescence. They're just gonna be sitting on it. The EMP could get thrown in here. I mean, perhaps we could see that TP being thrown above the fight, looking for the EMP. Looks like they'll just be resetting as Rise loses their life again. Not able to get that the ultimate off. And now a little bit of a better fight now for Canada. You are coming up on that EMP, which is the great equalizer.
Yeah, it's going to be who gets this EMP best. You have, for Northern Grizzlies, you have better follow-up with Feet Fondler's Death Blossom. And there's Cock Johnson, gonna pop it, gonna die immediately.
Yeah, and right after that, you have just every EMP going out there. Feet Fondler looking for that Death Blossom in the backline, not gonna really find anything, just kind of wasting it. And now you have Missy here with a 15% advantage on that Lucio ultimate here. So, well, never mind. No, never mind. No. Still will have that advantage. I thought that was Fungin, but no, it wasn't. It was Missy taking away their prey there, as this next fight looking really solid for Sunrise.
Yeah, Sunrise have the beat, have the Death Blossom. To 2 ults is pretty even for so far. There's Flappy with the Death Blossom. Good night, Northern Grizzlies.
Yeah, that looks to be close to the end here, as Sunrise gonna be cleaning up this fight, and once they do, you see that checkered box right there. That's just where they have to go to win this map, and there it is. Lucio cannot touch in time. And a nice 1-0 start here for Sunrise, but don't count the Grizzlies out. They went to map 3 against maize. I'm sure they can try to recreate such a situation this time to keep their hopes in the upper bracket alive. This is an elimination match. They do have that kind of safety cushion of going down the lower bracket, but no one wants to be in lower bracket for that much, because again, a little bit stressful, not good for this game.
Absolutely. This, we're here to show you some Overwatch, but what we're really here for is to give you good skincare tips. Just about.
I don't look like I'd be the one to give that, honestly, but
I don't either.
One thing, just stay away from stress. That's just one thing I've learned. If you don't want to look like me, just don't be stressed out. Which, fortunately, not a situation for me. Not something I can do there. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just don't be stressed. Easy, forehead. Just, are you stressed? Just don't be stressed.
Don't be stressed, forehead. Yeah.
Don't be stressed, Mal.
But now again, we're looking at Assault next. Where do you think you want Grizzlies to go next for Assault? Like, what map do you want them to pick that they could suit their strengths?
I think for a map that you really want to suit your strengths, I still don't know these teams too well, because I think with maps that you prefer, there's a lot of reasons you can choose a map. You can choose a map because you have a set strategy on it. You can choose a map because you have a set composition on it that it's more aligns with your comfort picks. Like if you really like Rush, then you probably want to pick maps that are good for Rush, stuff like King's Row, etc., etc. And you could also just pick maps because you think that the other team is weak or that they don't have set strategies, blah, blah, blah. But I think realistically, well, we already know that they're going to Volskaya Industries. So what I want is irrelevant. But I think more realistically, for Northern Grizzlies, I think that their defense was very impressive. I think that the ult economy needs to be in their favor. They need to work on. I think both these teams actually could work on using these ultimates and cycling them, using not as many game-changing ults in one fight, and then using, use 3 ults, use 2 ults, charge all the others up in the end, in the cleanup, and then use the 2 ults to charge, and just kind of rotate, win these fights over and over again, and that's how you snowball. I mean, we were talking about it in the first map with El Paso Edators, and that's really important to use the ults that you need to win the fight, but not ults that are just going to sit there and be superfluous.
Yeah, and since we know it's going to Volskaya here, maybe the snowy map can help out the Northern Grizzlies. Of course, Sunrise, not as long a days in the northern parts of the air, and so going to a snowier map, going to a darker map, trying to mitigate Sunrise, but most importantly, using the Northern Grizzlies' natural resistance to cold in their fur, they're going to use that to try and win the map out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I pick maps based on my team's branding and their strengths and weaknesses. And look how it went for us, you know. Not well to say the least.
In this house, we pick maps based off of vibes. But you know, Russia
and not Ilios, because Ilios sucks. So.
Yeah, Russia is pretty much like Russia's just like the Canada of Eurasia. You know, like
that's a bold statement.
It's the North. It's cold. It's, you know, maybe not the Canadian stereotypes versus the Russian stereotypes, but they got to distinguish themselves in some way, you know. But that's, you know, there's probably, are there grizzly bears in Russia? Do Russia?
Siberian
Are
bears.
there bears in Russia?
Yes, there are bears in what? Yes, there are bears in Russia.
I don't know. Where are bears?
Bears. Okay, so we've learned now that to K-Wing, bears are like a social construct. They don't actually really exist in a physical, tangible form. They're just kind of like thought of.
What are bears?
You know? What are bears?
What are
bears really? Well, the Bears are on the ropes here. They're down 1-0, and they need to get out of that really quickly if they want to progress to this upper finals bracket. As I mean, I'm looking at this composition here from Sunrise, and that looks like quite a dangerous one to try and run into with this double shield. A lot of spam damage. Surprisingly, you don't think about it, but May and Torbjorn combined for a lot of spam damage. Combined with the BAP, obviously, just going to be throwing some stuff in there, but we're going to see if they can outspeed them in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough because Sunrise are going to... They're going to want to go into the melee. Northern Grizzlies are going to have a harder time setting up. Bunker is a very... not a static comp, but it's definitely a composition that doesn't handle aggression and moving forward as easily as this rush composition is going to do. So it will be tough to get through this choke point for Northern Grizzlies, as we're already seeing them having some difficulty.
Yeah, it's a very close hold here, but I don't know. I think showing your cards too fast there with this run comp leaves you a bit about stranded, right? Now they have to use their cooldowns to match this double shields movement instead of pushing into them and kind of setting the tempo. As Waifu gets taken out by a rock there, the turret is down. The Hanzo going super aggressive, gonna lose their life for it. Now Waifu still swinging his shield, half HP, still decides to swing there, going for this Ash. He lives. Oh, the Ash is kind of standing there. Easy enough for them, but the Hanzo's on the flank once again. The overload is popped in the Hanzo, and he's screwing his way up top, looking for a lot of that spam damage. Can he do the same that they did to Ash and take them out? I don't know. I can't quite see them getting forced into this corner. It's a little bit dangerous for them in there with this Flux coming online, and there they go. They're all in. They do have the lamp, however, so they're going to be living for a little bit longer, but once again, just so low. And that's what the double shield comp wants to do to you, right? It wants to slowly grind you down, put you in places you don't want to be, and just spam you out. I think it's a bit of a mistake there to not go faster on that Rhine composition and standing in choke for way too long.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be proactive. You want to, like you said, being the one setting the tempo on this Reinhardt D.Va composition, as it's what Rush do, and just looking more. You need to be the ones just running in, being aggressive, which is hard on defense because you aren't forced to be aggressive. But we'll have to see if Sunrise can force themselves to be aggressive.
They are going quite aggressive there. but the Blizzard is there to stop them in their tracks. They're saying chill out, as there will be the freeze on the backline, but they can't get followed up on, as the Bongo is over there with that Bob, creating so much space. The Bob does eventually lose their life, as the Torbjorn ult does come out, the Molten Core now stopping their advance into this point. Dynamite finds nothing, and Feet Fondler not finding quite the value they would have wanted. Flappy almost just like walls off their own diva, as their Baptiste just gets their head taken off right next to them. It's like you're in the line of fire, you look over 1 second, your friend's there, next second their head's taken off, and not much from Waifu. Yes, they had a massive shadow, but there is no follow-up, and now he's in this corner with such low healing. Dead to the Flux, not even dies even before it takes off, and now this Res is going to come out in the corner, and a really nice bounce back here so far from Grizzlies, I must say, after a loss on that last map, looking at a very strong attack, but this is 2 CP. Maybe I cursed this team. I'm just enjoying the caster curse right now, but can this even be salvaged?
That is a question, but they're doing really well. The stall does come in. There's that pick.
Second Bongo of the fight.
Second Bongo of the fight. 2 CP, Resident Sleeper. Just eventually this stall has got to end, right? You know, like eventually. I think.
Yeah, who do we blame? Who do we blame for this inclusion of this map here? Is it BP? Direct all the complaints to BP. Has a name on it. As we see the beat come out here, trying to keep that ball alive, and that they do. Once again, this fight has been going on for about a minute and a half now, and has no intentions of stopping. The ball, super low in the backline, the Flux finally finds Missy. You won't have another beat come out of them for a very long time here. But again, the May comes back here with that wall, is able to stall out for just so long. As now cryoing in that corner. The Bob is still alive, though, going to be getting a lot of kills, and all it required was another aimbot to be on the field to close this fight up here. Missy going to be touching for a little bit longer, but look at those respawns not even out yet. The ball is not even going to be able to touch, I say, but the Moira is not even going to be able to touch either. And finally, after a 2-minute stall, they finally managed to clear off this point, and once again, we have to ask ourselves, who included this map in the pool? Why could we not just remain with sanity? You know, why couldn't we just say that for grand finals, where if you make it to grand finals, you don't have fun, you know? But instead, BP has slighted us.
BP hath decreed you must play 2 CP.
Apparently it was... Okay, never mind. It was not Solomon. There's a calf in the chat. Okay, we don't have to go up and on about Solomon. We're safe. But once again, BP, I know you're out there. Some people have words for you. Not me, I don't have words for you. I hate confrontation. But other people might have words for you.
Vaguely threatening aura.
Oh, I hate confrontation. I would never be the one to do it. But other people might.
Oh boy. Oh.
I don't think it's going to be Bastion. Oh, it is Bastion. Oh, we're doing
No, it is. No, it
is. Yeah, their defense, huh?
They're defending. Cock Johnson.
Now I'm gonna sit back here because I'm just gonna be able to do this here. What do you think's gonna happen with this composition here? I don't have to even try to think. No thinking aloud for me. What happens here? You know?
I'm thinking I mean, so the strategy with the Symmetra and Bastion on this map is that on the dive you're able to misdirect. And they'll dive on this right side, and then you'll teleport away and go, haha, you fools, and you pull out your Uno reverse card on them. We'll have to see if Cock Johnson is able to pull out the Uno reverse card, or if he'll get stuck in his pocket. We'll have to see.
Yeah, interestingly, we see T with the Symmetra of their own. I was just wondering if that was just to get out of spawn. But with the dive, you normally don't really need the TP, but instead, you're going to have them brawling us out. The May wall does come out here from Flappy. They have more of a brawly composition. Even with that Winston Diva, it's not a dive comp. Obviously, they're going to be kind of sticking together and just cleaving as much as possible. T goes super low. They don't have access to healing right there. They're kind of LOS'd. In fear of Cock Johnson's Bastion, as he manages, they're going to TP on top of him. I don't know how good a move. Wait, okay, they could have just TP'd away, but instead they decide to fall down, and they will be forced back into this corner here. The lamp will be going down. Cock Johnson with that lamp was able to find the kill onto Waifu. The Mercy running away goes down as well. Now it's a 3v3, but tanks are on the field here for Canada, and you know what that means? The fight's over. One team has tanks, the other one doesn't, and they at least have one other character to try and support them. Goes their way normally, especially with double shield. Such a strong duo.
Yeah, and Cock Johnson is going to be staying on this Bastion because it's such a mobile comp. It's hard to pin it down. It's exactly what Dive doesn't want. It's a comp that is pretty much all mobile, and now they're going to struggle with this comp being incredibly mobile. Exactly what Dive struggles against is mobile characters. You can't really dive like a Lucy, you can't really dive a Moira. And now all of these characters basically have a movement ability with low cooldown.
Now we have Wall. Which every time I cast, I always say this, people might get sick of it, but Wall is such a gross, oppressive ability, really. It's so much better than a lot of people take credit for it. Now the beat comes out, but again, there's a massive wall splitting the map in half, so you really can't get everyone in that. And now the blizzard does come out, everyone's frozen up, everyone's just in that corner. But again, you have these tanks on point with this bongo, now pocketed by a Baptiste. Not much you can do to stop them. And even the Symmetra is still alive. I think this fight once again goes the way of Canada. Really nice defense here so far. And looking to tie this series up 1-1. They would love to go to that map 3 like they did against maize.
Yeah, Flappy, by the way of, just because they,
Shadowburn. The real Shadowburn. Real Pog you.
Real Shadowburn, indeed. The way that Flappy died on point with the May really made Sunrise struggle because it allowed Northern Grizzlies to get all grouped up, and now here comes the TP. They set up the shield and they hit F, they teleport away. Goodbye.
Bye.
Now you're thinking with portals, Northern Grizzlies. Good job.
Now we have a window in front of Cock Johnson's Bastion. He's just gonna, you can't, yeah, look at them. Look at them just hide in fear of this Bastion. Now they're gonna finally split the point here with this symmetrical wall. They're going on top of this Orisa, looking to take them out, looking to take out the healing as well. You can try to primal a Bastion. Oh, he actually gets out of terraform. They're gonna be winning this fight here. Really nice job there to split up their team and kind of engage at the same time with their flankers. And now they're gonna be pushing into this next fight with a beat. That's a very strong ultimate. I wonder if Cock Johnson stays. Looks like he is, and gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Never mind, he's on McCree.
You cast your curse, you lied.
Yo,
but
it's not my fault.
Missy charged that beat thanks to a double kill boop off the side, so really good. But with how much time they had to spend on that attack, first point, look at how much time they have. They're not going to be above Northern Grizzlies on this attack, and there's still the staggers if Northern Grizzlies loses. We saw how potent that can be. We'll have to see what happens here as some picks coming in.
Yeah, they're going in here. The beat comes out, but they've already lost their Moira, and it's going to be a lot of damage. Waifu might actually almost die from it. Had a little bit of that beat remaining, but it was a long enough decay. You don't really want to beat as soon as that flux comes out. You want to wait until it's going to hit, mostly because that's where all the damage is located, and that decay makes it so that Waifu dies. They don't. They live a little bit longer, but now they're swapping over to that rat. And on this point, Fungin finds Flappy. Feet Fondler finds the Diva here. But T is just so oppressive on this point. They're set up, and now EP is back with that Coalescence. Just pocketing that Samba to the ends of the earth. That's 4 kills so far for T. Looking for the 5. Does get stunned up, but a little bit of a mistake there allows T to get the 5th kill because they were booped into Narnia and Cock Johnson couldn't kill him after the flashbang. Flappy finds the Lucio, now gone. Flappy on a killing spree right now, and once again, very similar to that other round we just had. It's just 2 CP right now. Looking for that Moira, finds the support is gone, but how do you really come back in this fight if you are Canada? You don't really have the resources. You're looking at Feed Fondler.
He just got booped off the side. It was like a cane just came from the right side of our screens and just yanked them to the side. There's the kill from the high noon. That's maybe something from Cock Johnson. Could be potentially big, but with T there, it might not be enough. There comes the ult from Canada, charging up the minefield in just the stagger time. If Northern Grizzlies can stall for 1 more minute, Cock Johnson gets the kill. If they can stall for 1 more minute, that would actually be massive and huge, as 45 seconds left. If Northern Grizzlies can stall, they can't. but they
Love
get
how
a
it's
minute
completely
compared
normal
to
to
3
say.
minutes and 6 seconds. Yeah, if they could stall for a minute.
Yeah, I
that
like
would
how
be
like
great.
just casually it is to say, yeah, if they can stall for another minute here, it's already been a minute, but like if they can stall for another minute, that would be nice. Like how like okay. that's just so casually said. It's just it makes you ponder, it makes you you know? It makes you
Monka.
As Messi actually got 2 beats in that fight, started the fight with a beat, got another beat, and that's Lucio we're talking about. So, you know that fight went on for a while here, as begging in chat, trying potentially to get this suffering to end. But looking here, it is a good advantage here for Canada. The want and go to stay in that upper bracket, and to do so, they need to take this map. Sunrise on that match point, obviously, going to be looking to see what they can do. And Canada's not going to change anything up on this defense, right? Like, I mean, why would you? You got 3 minutes off the clock, basically, with that defense. Why would you change it?
Yeah, if the Bastion ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, at this point, I think if you're looking at it, Sunrise have dealt with this composition. I think it's one strength of the composition. Cock Johnson falls down the stairs. Unfortunate. I think one strength of this composition, though, is sort of that surprise factor, because you're not expecting a Bastion. You expect, like, a bunker up there, but not the Bastion. You don't expect a Gatling gun to be shooting at you. Who knows? But now they're kind of expecting it at this point, and we'll have to see if they can repeat their success on that last attack of first point.
I think it's interesting, again, to see them go for that Symmetra when their composition already has the ability to really get around places very quickly. So I think it's interesting to see them go for that Symmetra when they're not even going to use the TP. It's really just used to kind of burst down that shield and have some mid-fight damage. But the fights can last so short with Bastion sometimes. That doesn't even really matter. But right now we're going to have the TP onto the other high ground. But they've been pulled down and T is in danger. That boot was very nice there from Trisky. Now Cock Johnson will be looking around for that D.Va. D.Va, the ultimate like kind of annoyance to Bastion, because it's just like 4 seconds of pure, you can't even shoot anything. Right now he will be walking up. He's angry. He saw that DM and he's angry. He's like, I'm coming for you. But instead the rest of the team does start cleaning up on that point. 5 seconds to go, and that will be, they finally kill the Bastion, but I doubt the rest will be coming in, and they don't have the bomb yet. So no miracles coming out here today. Will be the full hold here for Team Canada. And now 3 minutes and 6 seconds here. Okay, get the staggers. Yep, just get the staggers out. Okay, good. Will be 3 minutes and 6 seconds here for Canada to attack and take just a tick. Just a tick is all they need.
Yeah, they really do want to take this tick, because you don't want to come in with all of this work that you've done with holding Sunrise for 3 minutes on first point Volskaya with the Bastion comp. Just doing that and then come away with a draw, not even come away with a win. You need to come away with a win here. You need to equalize, because even if you win, you're going to be going to Sunrise's map choice.
Yeah, and honestly, it's gonna come down to what does Canada want to run here versus what does Sunrise want to do with. They don't try to copy off the Bastion strat. The cheese strats are like some people you hear in ranks sometimes, like, let's just do what they did. Well, the team probably knows more what they're doing about it than you do. So your cheap imitation will probably get dismantled quite fast, and so they will not be going for that. Instead, they're going for the classic 6-man, a very fast composition to play into what is assumedly a double shield comp. Funnily enough, Canada does favor that double shield a little bit more than other teams, just like their A-League team, because they basically had an Ursa one trick, and they had to play around that because their actual main tank didn't show up. So living up to their A-League sister team. And I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Can the pace get set here from EU West?
Yeah, I mean, for Sunrise, it's gonna be tough, but they poke out, and it'll be very difficult for them, as all
tanks are dead.
Yeah, tanks are dead. Good night.
Tanks are basically dead. Yep, second tank is dead. Not good. Not looking good here. They only need a tick. There's no tanks to stop this damage. The D.Va actually gets back in mech, so disregard that. 1 tank to get back in. But how do you hack through 20 billion shields and a bunch of spam? Somehow T gets it off. They lose their life for it, but they managed to get it off. Now going into that thing, actually the D.Va here for EUS is doing so much. Waifu's gonna die very quickly on that point, however. As, yep, that'll be Canada taking the map here and tying it up 1-1. So, I mean, this is kind of like the maize game, right? Where they're gonna go to third map and see if they can pull out the win again and stay in that upper bracket.
Yeah, now it is Sunrise's map choice, and look at that Lucio play of the game. You love to see it. As a Lucio main myself, you really do. It's so incredible to see a Lucio get the play of the game. Just breaking that fight wide open, I would say, but really good from Northern Grizzlies to equalize here, and now they got through their map choice, but now we have Sunrise's map choice, so that'll be difficult. It's tough to go through someone else's map choice and have to win. You have to win this for Northern Grizzlies.
Yeah, and we're going to see what EU West wants to do to try and trip them up. Obviously, they have the map pick on control. We have Ilios, we have Nepal, no Lijiang in the pool, which is a very popular map. So not going to be seeing that. Oasis is the other one they can pull out if they want. I mean, it's going to be like, where can you kind of stop that double shield is what you're looking for, right? So where do you think they're going to attempt to go?
I'm not sure. I think that with a lot of these control maps, there's always somewhere where the double shield is sort of the lay of the land. You're usually going to see that double shield. There's one round that you're going to see it on. So I think it's going to be I think it'll be a matter of whether or not you can, like we said, stop this double shield, because Northern Grizzlies have been running it on attack, on defense. I think if you want to stop it...
Well, it's Nepal. So.
Well, it's Nepal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Nepal.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be fun on that one.
Mm-hmm.
See, as the lobby does get set up right now. But looking at Nepal, because I'm pretty sure that's where we're going. If it's not, I've been debated on the highest of levels, and that would be not cool. But you know what? That wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong, not even on this first cast. But yeah, does look like it is Nepal. I mean, looking at this map, is this the map to stop Canada? Is this the map you want to do to stop the momentum right now?
I think that there's, like I said, I think if you're talking about maybe Nepal's shrine, that's definitely a double shield haven. So it's tough, because this double shield has been lights out from Northern Grizzlies. It's just been lights out so far. So I'm impressed, and I hope that if you could probably run maybe a rush into it. Maybe that's sort of, we saw the Sombra struggling against it, which I think is definitely interesting, but still going forward on Nepal, you have this sort of uncontrolled. You have a lot of snowball potential. That's just, there's no other way to put it. Snowball is the name of the game when you're talking about control. It's just snowball. Like, if you can win that first fight, you start to get more ults, and just charging ults, whoever can sort of take control of the ult economy, just flat out will win, will take control, will have the advantage going forward, and will eventually win the match.
Yeah, gonna be interesting to see if who takes this match here. Obviously, Northern Grizzlies did very similar. Third map, they won against maize, who is already in that lower bracket. Perhaps they don't want to go back down there because the threat that if they play up against maize again, they've already played a 3-map series. Maybe maize has had the chance to get a little bit of insight onto them and kind of turn it in their favor. Don't want to repeat that. And on the other side, you have Sunrise here, who everyone wants to stay on the upper bracket for as long as possible. Not only does it give you generally a higher placement normally, it also protects you, right? You can have an off game. You can have a game where luck doesn't go your way, and you have that backup. So as long as these two teams, I mean, I assume Sunrise picked this for a reason. As long as they can stick to the game plan, hopefully they can come out up against Canada here. As looking in on that mainstream right now, the Jokers, Donk's team, the Nordic Northeast Fusion, is up 1-0 on Savannah Soyboys, also known as Florida. So that's interesting to see. Savannah Soyboys might be joining the lower bracket quite soon. We don't know. Maybe they're going for that. Maybe they're going for a little bit of a reverse sweep right there. We'll have to see later. And again, on the mainstream, Pachifornia Palms plays the loser of this game. So this is the map that decides who is going to play later in against Pachifornia. And Pachifornia, we've seen, not a team to sleep on. You don't really want to play against them, especially not when it's elimination on the line this time.
Yeah, because they're sort of used to playing elimination. They have, you had merely adopted it, but they have been born into it, raised into it. They haven't done anything in terms of just like they had one game where their elimination was not on the line, and the rest of their games they've just been fighting for their tournament lives. So I'm impressed with them thus far, and I think that they could go far. But let's talk about this game because we have, like I said, the Rush, and it's going to be facing off against the Ryan Sigma, so that sort of double shield composition that's a little bit more mobile with the Reinhardt, but I'm excited to see the Reinhardt wars.
They messed up the rollout a little bit here for Canada. They're much, much slower to this point. And also they have that Sigma, which in the end of the day might just be more charge for that Sim, but it doesn't quite matter as Waifu loses their life. The Sigma is caught on that wall, but a great rock keeps Flappy from stunning them up for too long. Flappy now no longer has Prior, will be taken out very shortly. And even though they got to that point later, which is sometimes a death sentence here, they managed to take it back in their favor. A really nice retake there for Canada.
Yeah, definitely. I think that for Canada, that Ryan charge is going to be important for the ult, but that Sigma has been doing really well. I mean, 92% ult charge at any point is just incredible. There's a teleport at a point, and that's really good to sort of avoid the poke.
Oh, they're all up in the air. Not much they can do. Waifu gets that high ground, looking potentially for the shatter. And there's just two shields in the way. They do manage to put the Sigma on the ground. The Ryan also loses their life without that assistance they can receive. But the Sim wall is up, and Waifu has to back up. He's going to throw out that Fire Strike. He doesn't find quite anything. But Rise, look at that charge. They're going to be so charged up pushing into this fight. Like, oh, there's not much they can do. But Cock Johnson, though, while Rise has been charging up, Johnson was actually doing a lot of damage there and managed to get 2 kills. And now they have this point here, 50% and counting, and very similar ultimate charge.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have that similar ult charge, it's the positioning that's going to make or break, and you have a lot of options as the defense. You get to choose pretty much where you take this fight, unless you have some sort of crafty scheme by the offense. You really can choose if you want to go up or if you want to play a little bit further forward.
Yeah, it's just kind of been a lot to Sunrise walking in to their death, just losing their life very instantly to that Blizzard. But at the very least, going to this next fight, you don't have to play into Blizzard, and they also don't have that Sim wall, which is an advantage you have.
Yeah, 5 ults on the line for the members of for Sunrise. But I mean, just look at the percentage. You need to rush to point now because there's not a lot of time left.
Imagine the C9 there, but no, it won't happen. The Blizzard's gonna come out. They lose Flappy, but still, the beat's not gonna hit Trisky. There can't be a lamp either. There's a wall in the way. Flappy's final hurrah to take out the enemy main tank, to deny the last bit of fun. This Mem just runs to the point, trying to get some stall there. Don't really need it. It's 99%. And now it's time for the back out. But you baited out 3 extremely key ultimates. Yes, you used your own beat, but you're coming in with 2 more of your own.
Yeah, like you said, that's a really good play from the members of Canada. You just have that sort of we have a lot more ults and a lot more of those valuable ults that you want to have. This ult economy is turned around, and now Canada may take a dry fight, just wait, or they might use the window, the wall, and go in hard.
Oh, a nice block there from Trisky. Stops it in their tracks, and now the Shatter is available as well. Will be frozen up, so not allowed to use it, but they don't really need to. Everyone else is falling around them as Cock Johnson, once again, one of the greatest names I've ever had to cast. Cock Johnson and Feet Fondler 7. They managed to take out this point here with their combined DPS, and managed to just take the point there. 100% to 41%, and quite dominant fashion. They only lose one fight. Yeah, only lose one fight really, and going into this next point.
Yeah, absolutely. I did enjoy watching the solo shatter onto waifu right at the end there, just to prevent any touches from coming in. Just very funny to me. But now we're seeing a bit of a switch. We're seeing the 6-man come out from Sunrise, and they cannot lose this round. They're on the hot seat now, as we're seeing the tried and true double shield with Cock Johnson on the Paso versus Feet Founder, who is doing the Symmetra, possibly for the rollout, going to switch over to the Echo, which is pretty interesting.
If you are just now joining us, okay, first of all, that Moira is gone. That Moira is deleted. The rock into the Hanzo shot just completely takes them off the map. But if you are just now joining us, these two teams are playing to stay in this upper bracket, and right now it is Canada looking for that reverse sweep, up 1-0 on Control, and Sunrise playing the 6-man, the comp they've been playing so much during this match, and so far they've already lost 2, already lost 3. The Moira might be back, but the point's gonna go the way of the Northern Grizzlies, and they don't look any closer to winning this fight. And honestly, it's quite difficult here that they haven't managed to figure out this double shield composition. Ever since Volskaya, it's just proven to be a thorn that they can't take out of their skin.
Yeah, I think that comes down to Canada on this Sigma. Canada's just been really good so far as to what we've seen, and really good play by the members of Canada to just...
He's gone.
What is Cock Johnson doing? Cock Johnson has
what he's
found
doing,
picks
guys.
so
Check his
well.
computer.
Check his
I won't repeat
computer.
the entire copy foster, but check his computer. As right now, I mean, how do you come back from this? It's just such a deficit. You have to rely on EMP, right?
Yeah, it might be just relying on the EMP.
What? He shot him with the soda arrow out of stealth? What is this man made of? What is he doing? He's insane!
Cock Johnson is a skilled player, but that is not normally. This is very, very insane. They need to check him PC and game. Maybe he's not cheating, but he used the game deficit. And just can't see him on game screen. He needs to check game scene. Just, incredible play by Cock Johnson.
Might lose this point, but honestly, this is insane. What am I watching here from Cock Johnson? They don't have to commit many ultimates to take this point. They haven't got it just yet. The Mercy, still freshly hacked, gonna go down, gonna get 1, but they lose their Sombra. No EMP on that point. Finally, the point flips over. They won't be able to really keep fighting here. The BAP is in the pit, guys. The pit beckons, I guess. The pit beckons.
BAP in the pit. What are you doing?
This round has been a series of exclamations coming out of me that don't make much sense. Don't make much sense in tandem with each other. Over, the beat is forced out because of it. The EMP is gonna follow onto this backside. That's 4 people EMP'd, and they can't live at all between it. But if you're looking at this for Northern Grizzlies, that's 5 ultimates down basically for Sunrise. They don't have anything coming up.
Yeah, and you have pretty much everything you could want. You have 3 ults. Canada is at 77, pretty much matching PSPY. So you have what you need to retake this point. You just want to get some ults on the way.
Yep. And now here, you're going to see the 6-man trying to push forward, trying to burst down this Orisa. But the Hanzo Dragon in that backline does take out Missy. You've lost your disengage tool. You've lost a lot of AoE healing. Now you're just getting forced out in this corner. There's just so many balls in that corner from that Sigma. To do so much poke damage, just taking you down. And now you've lost this point. But how long can you stall it out? Really, it looks like a pretty clean take though. Won't be too much stall left to go, and this should be coming up on the last fight here. And I don't think they use a single ult. They have 3 ults coming up, and they leave with 3 ults. And Sunrise, a little bit worse for wear, only closer to that primal. And of course, it's Moira Coalescence, so you're gonna get Moira Coalescence. But I mean, that's not enough.
Yeah, they're gonna need some hero plays, either from PSPY, one of these tanks, or one of these DPS to pull out some crazy plays. We'll have to see if they can pull it out. That might be it. That might be it.
But Cock Johnson, he's doing his thing. The pit beckons! The Sigma Flux into the pit, you cannot stop it! And now the Moira in the backline as Waifu just watches in despair, but the Sigma almost loses his life as well. But Ippy in that backline could... Cock Johnson's power is strong, right? But not even he's strong enough to take out the DPS flanking Moira. That power is just too much. And now the situation is completely reversed. Look at the ultimates for Sunrise, look at the ult for Northern Grizzly. You're entering into final fight territory, and it's looking grim.
This is insane. This is crazy. I mean, it is looking grim. If you are Canada, this is looking grim. Oh, that's looking real grim.
That's 6 people. That's 6 people. You don't have speed. You do not have speed.
Good night.
You don't have speed. You cannot get back to this point fast enough. Okay, we're gonna go here. I want to point out people that just showed up because you were either playing or otherwise. Okay, we started it out. We have Sunrise take map 1. Take map 1 on Dorado. Very cleanly actually. It was pretty Sunrise favored. Northern Grizzly come back on map 2. Volskaya, they pull out this Bastion symmetric comp on defense, and it's super hard for Sunrise to get through. They managed to get through it, but it's like they're attacking 3 minutes, they have to defend 3 minutes, and it's not good. Now we're going into the last round here. This is to keep your upper bracket finals hopes alive, and it's 1-1 here on the final control map. And both of these teams have stuck to their strategies. Sunrise, 6-man, just 6-man all the way. Northern Grizzlies, the double shield, but we might be seeing a swap to 6-man. Sunrise has forced Northern Grizzlies to mirror their strategy.
Yeah, it's the mirror. I mean, we've seen a lot from our favorite DPS duo, Cock Johnson and Feet Fondler.
I love them so much.
But I do too. I do too. They inspire me. Look what Cock Johnson taught me. White people happy. Incredible.
Headshotting Invisible Sombras, cheating. That's what he's taught me. If anything, you know. But man, looking at this 6-man, you have the Northern Grizzly set up on this point already. They're going to be forcing onto the monkey here, but it's in fact Waifu who will be living their life. Trisky, who was hacked up after the jump went away, so they managed to get to safety. And now you're going to push into this Reaper, and that's not something you want to do. Altogether though, the ultimate charge very close for both sides here, and should be hitting the ultimate power spikes at about the same time here. Only difference is a bit more on those tanks, but that's to be expected when your Winston went down almost instantly, and Rise was uncontested, just shooting the entire time, but didn't result in the fight.
Oh, Ippy goes down! Ippy's just dead. What a play from Funjin.
Funjin popping off there, takes out the ultimate that was on the field there, as Ippy no longer able to use that Coalescence, and now Phantasm has their own free Coalescence. I mean, looking at this next fight, you have basically everything the same except Phantasm doesn't have that Coalescence, so it's going to come down to the EMPs.
Yeah, the EMPs, it's going to be a matter of whether these Lucias are able to avoid the EMPs from these Cloak Sombras. And when you're right on the edge there, that's dangerous. And I didn't actually have it yet.
I don't know if I agree with the let's go coast into like triple boops, but they don't get booped off. Waifu will be able to pop their primal. The beat does come out here from Missy, and there wasn't a response from Cock Johnson. There finally it is, and they're going to be running it on the point, but they're already down 2. Can there even be some follow-up? Flappy gets unsilenced there, and he's going to manage to live a little bit longer, get that Wraith Bomb off, get that Death Blossom off, and there we go. It's back in the point control here for Sunrise. Yes, it's 78 and counting, but we even saw that last round that they don't need that much to take the round. They came back from a deficit even last round, so that means nothing.
Yeah, give them an inch and they will take a mile, but they're going to have to take another mile now. They do have the tools to do it with that, with the ults that they have, the ult advantages that they're bringing into this fight. The only thing that Canada is really up on is, I would say, Reaper ult and then the Winston ult majorly. So. Hey,
I finally got confirmation. Cock Johnson is Chimera. We figured it out, chat. Thank you. But now we have here Phantasm on that side. The Zingia found out does have that, is silent, but we'll manage to get out right before it. We'll get that Coalescence off as well. As right now, we storm back onto point here, and this is like the point's going to be ticking down, so it's going to be a very staggered fight here, and Missy doesn't have that beat just yet. You committed there from Sunrise, and you lose the fight. You don't bait out the Reaper ult because it's not yet up. You don't bait out any tank ults, and now this looks dire.
Oh, absolutely it does. They're going to be rushing to even get onto point, and then when they're there, they got to deal with 2 tank ults, and they got to deal with the Reaper ult. It's going to be a bloodbath for them.
Yeah, it's hoping that Missy can bail you out, but they can't. They're dead to Feet Fondly, who I now know is Paracelsus. It only took me to the last fight of the last map to figure out who these DPS players were. Okay, I didn't know which one. I knew it was one of them, but I found them. And now it will be Northern Grizzlies taking the win here, coming back in a very similar way, a 3-map banger into a win in the upper bracket, similar to what they had with maize. Oh wait, what? Wait, did Sunrise win? No, Sunrise did not win. Northern Grizzlies were the one that won. They have Canada on them.
Yeah.
Again, production is hard. Don't bully production people, chat, or else you're gonna be blessed with bad rank games. You already have them, but even worse somehow. I don't know. I'll somehow do it. I'll go into your games and troll myself. No, I won't. We don't endorse that here.
I'll flick you in the forehead. Don't be mean to production. I like my production. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, production. Very cool.
Yes. But
this
I mean,
has just been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, my brain has kind of just faltered under the weight of constant 6-man play, along with a 3-map banger of a series. But we will be welcoming in some interviewers here as Canada comes in. I don't know who is who for the fact that everyone has the same name here. We got Canada. We got Canada Aiden. We got Canada Hate Wyden.
Yeah, I'm Fungin. I was the main support.
Yeah, Fungin.
I'm coach, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. We got main support and coach. The two most important roles because they're my interviewers and they're important. So, coming off that win there, another map 3 banger. You had one earlier against maize. So how does it feel to come out ahead on top again?
It's fun. I'm happy that we were able to pull it out of off our first map loss. We really just pulled our mentals back out from the gutter and just decided to pop off and just get the dub.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my question for you guys would be, looking forward, you guys are going to be facing off against... Who are you guys facing off against? I don't have the bracket in front of me, but...
We're very prepared here, as you can tell.
We're an incredibly prepared...
The Jokers, the Jokers, otherwise known as the Nordic Northeast Fusion, who beat Florida, so they'll be going up against maize. So Florida's playing maize, and Sunrise, who just lost, is going to be playing Pachifornia Palms in the lower bracket, and you are fighting the Jokers.
Okay.
So what is that matchup given you?
Who's on that roster again? Like
Donk is on the roster.
Yeah,
that's why it's called the Jokers.
Donk is kind of a very masculine man. So much testosterone emulating from him. Very, very threatening figure. But I think we are just better. I think as long as we're not boomed and not running bad comps like we did at the first map, I think we kind of just win. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's just gonna be another easy. I feel it's gonna be another one for us.
Yeah, the second Para stops booming, I think we just win.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. So can I ask? So Cock Johnson was. Yeah, Cock Johnson.
Not normally.
I didn't. Yeah, he was not normally. I mentioned that. I was freaking out, but he was Chimera and Para was Pete Fondler, correct?
Yes.
Because I didn't know, because it wasn't in the sheet, and I didn't know who it was. It wasn't in the player context either. So I was just like, it's one of them two. It's one of those two. But those two popped off. But I mean, looking at this, are you guys wanting to repeat your A-League's team success here? Trying to go all the way?
I hope we do. I think we can. I know we can. We have the capabilities, I feel, and
yeah, the B team's already made it further than we did in the upper bracket. So, they did what we couldn't. So I think we just kind of win now, because I think Korn is still like the hardest opponent we have because they are a rush team and we kind of like our double shield stuff. So, yeah, I think we're good until the finals.
Really cool. So. Really cool.
Any shout outs you want before this interview does end?
I'm gonna shout out Canada just for being just popping off on the
and Canada really did pop off this game.
Yeah, I feel like Canada, if if Canada really didn't perform as well as he did, like both either on Dorado and like on especially Nepal there on first point, as you saw on play the game there. I feel like we probably wouldn't have been as successful as we have been now. So thanks Canada for popping off, I suppose.
That's awesome. Congratulations, you guys. You guys are going to be, like we said, facing off against, well, you guys know everything. And
Punk's team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Punk's team. The Jokers. You got it.
I like that they changed their name because I cannot pronounce it. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Donk's only good influence on that team, I suppose. But you will be going up against the Jokers, and again, thank you very much for joining us for this interview, and congratulations on your win. You guys were moving up to upper finals, one step closer to that grand finals. We do wish you luck there. But looking forward today on this stream and the other stream, we do of course have maize versus soy coming up here, and on the other stream we have who you saw both on this stream today. You saw Sunrise, who just lost, and you saw Pachifornia, who won their match earlier against Texas. And that'll be a banger, to say the least, as both those teams look really strong coming into it. So, I mean, that's gonna be some nice matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think this has been a great. It's been great casting with you, Worst. With some crazy moments like me not knowing that there are bears in Russia.
Yeah, he didn't know there was bears in Russia. That was the biggest mistake.
I wasn't sure. All right, I wasn't sure. Are there bears in Russia? I was trying to say, are there polar bears in Russia? Because I feel like that is a more fair question. But I just ended up like, are there grizzlies? Because they're northern grizzlies, but they're are there is that a polar bear? Because that looks like a polar bear. I'm confused. Someone sit me down and talk to me about. It is a winning bear. Thank you for getting us back on track.
Yeah, it's a winning bear, and that means they're going to go up to upper finals, and that means A-Stream will stop waiting on us because that's what's happening. So after this banger of a series, we'll be seeing you again. Maize versus Savannah will be on here, and on the A-League stream, you have Pachifornia versus Sunrise. So look forward to those, and again, I've been Worst. I've been having to cast you. Kay will actually move over to the A stream, so you can go check them out over there if you want.
I'll be over there.
But I will be leaving for the night, so have a good one, everyone that's been joining us, everyone that came in late as well. Have a nice one, and again, stick around for the other games.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
My boys, we just stay strapped. Got it in the backpack. They ask where the gas at. Smoking on your homie's pack. On the blood like past that. And your lungs like past that. I get cash like NASDAQ. You get judged on cash app. I'ma go crawl like Diddy. You a cartoon like Mickey. My spot, we
Hello, everyone. I actually debated you when I said that I was leaving. I will be filling in here because Drayden's in the game, and he will not be casting here. So I will, in fact, filling in for him here. Once again, I'm joined here by Megalas. Welcome to the B stream. Welcome to the B stream. Nice to have you.
Hi. It's always nice to be here.
Nice. And we will be having a pretty interesting match here between maize and Savannah Soyboys, Midwest and Florida, respectively, as they fight for elimination here. Soyboys just dropped out of that upper bracket, so they are new to this elimination, to feeling the threat of elimination. Maize, however, has already had a win under their belt. They did 2-0 Latin America, which means that they moved on. And I mean, what do you think about this matchup here? Like, what are your expectations for both of these teams?
My hope is that this is a good match where Savannah, they kind of realized what happened in that upper bracket semis, kind of turn it around, figure out exactly what they need to do to push forward. And maize, they just continue doing what they're doing in this lower bracket run, just kind of figuring teams out as they go. Maybe not always at 100%, but they are there when it counts. But I'm going to be honest, I'm terrified of the reality that Savannah Soyboys, they just cannot get over that last match they just had. It was a pounding and a half that they got from the side of the Jokers.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing, of course, back-to-back games here for these teams, for some of these teams in this bracket so far. In the A-League stream, we obviously have Pachifornia and Sunrise, who just lost their match against Canada, which, again, playing back-to-back matches is really just grinding on your mind. It can be in a lot of ways, so we're going to see if that affects them in a way, especially after you just come out of a stomping like that. Your mental might not be in the most optimal of places here. But again, we're going to be seeing if they can overcome that. maize, obviously, looking to continue the lower bracket run here, trying to make it all the way. The kind of changing what happened for their A-League team there, as Florida tried to follow in their footsteps, but gone out of the higher bracket a lot sooner than their A-League team. So we're going to be seeing if they can keep their hopes alive.
Yes, indeed. And I think the main thing to watch in this match, at least for map 1, is Zool, because Zool was trying to have an impact in their upper bracket game, but unfortunately we are all online. You know, we're not some multi-million-dollar org or anything like that. We can't fly out, have people at land. So Zool was having internet issues, and that was kind of holding the Soyboys just a bit back. But I mean, on the hit scan, Zool historically has always been really good as they're starting out this kind of offense for them. On this rush composition, they're going to be countered on the other side by the Orisa Diva with the Torbjorn from Blame, just to kind of always do that little bit of poke damage, make it so the Rhine never feels truly safe to drop that shield. And so far, it seems like the Soyboys, they just want to slowly push the cart.
Yeah, that Torbjorn hitbox working in their deficit there, as almost gets their head taken off by that icicle, but they managed to live. He's the first one to actually start rotating. Might have to pop that overload early. Doesn't end up having to, but a massive flashbang there. Basically, an Earth Shatter comes out there from Kumpu, as he's going to push forward with that revolver, take some shots there. Doesn't manage to take anyone out, but Azu has found his opposite here. No Baptiste on the field for Savannah. Very hard to try and sustain through this without that Baptiste there. Still no lamp, so a lot of that damage could be very deadly here for maize if they don't keep their heads down, and their tanks both realize that. Because now they're going to have to back up, but they don't have person there with them to stop it, so they might have to back up a little bit more.
Yes, indeed, and that's all the progress the payload will get for now, but you traded a minute for that pretty much far of progress, and you're going to have to give up a little bit more. As you said, maize going to have to get the full regroup here as the walls and amplification matrix start this one.
The walls are out there, the ultimate's getting popped here. The high noon will be very deadly there. They couldn't stop it with the DM, all of it was gone. You have the counter high noon though from Kumfu. He does find one, but it's not enough. It will, in fact, be the Soyboys taking this first point. It looks like no stall is going to come in here just yet. And a nice start to the round. They do have 2 minutes down, but still taking that first point.
Yes, indeed. And this is the Soyboys we kind of expected, right? This feels more in line with what we saw from them in their first match yesterday, where Zool's just popping off. Frank is always in the right position with this Reinhardt to shield. And you know, maize finding themselves on the back foot. It's a position they found themselves a lot in, being knocked to this lower bracket and all, but hopefully they can kind of figure something out here. Interestingly, still running the Torbjorn despite not really getting too much value out of it. The turret not really able to shoot anything consistently or stay alive. And I don't know, maybe Titan's rally will be the answer to this next fight, because there's going to be a shatter from Frank, and I don't know what'll stop it.
Yeah, they're going to be dropping down now straight into that shatter. Only the D.Va on the ground, but Titan's got that rally going. Don't even get the D-Mac rally, such a strong ultimate, and no response to be had here for the beat. It's not available for them. And a nice retake here. If you are maize, you commit 2 ultimates, but you'll still take that. You got a lot out of it. You also have some other ults coming up because of it.
Absolutely, and it's all about making sure you maintain these ult rotations. You don't invest too much into a single fight. They're going to have their shatter now. It's pretty much the shift in shatters. Frank now the one finding themselves without shatter at 50%. And the amplification matrix is always big in these compositions, and it's already out.
Well, a lot of damage comes down on the Pika, but doesn't manage to lose that mech. Now Person looking for the flank, perhaps onto that backside. There it is, the shatter comes down. Everyone basically on that floor right now, but Person gets stunned up, is behind that wall, and there's just not enough follow-up. The bomb did a great job of spacing everyone away, forcing them to not be able to follow up on everyone being on that ground. And Soyboys, with another 2 minutes off that clock though, have ran through this second point at a nice consistent speed.
Yes, indeed, and it's all about that pace, right? Because now you're going in a third point with 4 minutes. Third point obviously is the most notoriously difficult to fully capture. The defenders get such a huge advantage towards the end of it. So it's nice to come in with this big time bank, because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room, right? You can sort of test stuff out, see what works, see what doesn't. And once again, we're seeing maize posture on this high ground, but they keep posturing on it. They're not really gaining anything from it. Pomku hasn't gotten any incredible picks, and Blame on the Torb hasn't really been able to set up here. So this payload just moving all the while they're just sitting on high ground for seemingly no reason.
Now you have Kumpu throwing out that high noon, doesn't quite find anything. The Blizzard is the response here. It does start freezing some people up on this point as Frank takes out his opposite there, but more trades coming out from Azu and Kumpu along with Blame there. And I was going to say it's interesting to see that we're going to keep on this Torb, despite the fact that there's no like flankers or anything like that. It's just 2 mid-range characters in that McCree and May, but when he has that ult going down, it has been quite effective.
Yes, indeed. And it's all about, like, once again, you're just highlighting these ults and how impactful they are. Azu has been really clutch for maize coming up into this point, and now it's all about keeping that consistency, right? If you're the clutch factor once, your team sort of starts to rely on you. So you got to worry about Drams on the other side with the amplification matrix. We know Drams can do a lot of damage normally, but with the amplification matrix, obviously, he just amps it up to another level, and they're going to path high ground here to try to meet him here, but I'm worried about these Maywalls, and the bomb
does force out that lamp. The lamp is gone, but you've lost your main tank. A nice wall to kind of substitute, but it's just not enough. They're going to be forced into this small corner and taken out. And now it's time, once again, for maize to go on this recontest here, but they have to play into this shatter, which could be quite deadly.
Yeah, the shatter's always a risk, and you're having to switch to stall characters, but you're already starting to fall by the wayside. It's the last contest here.
Yeah, it's the last contest, and you already started losing members very early. Kumpu finds that flash into the headshot there on Zul. There's one gone. That's what you need. The hamster does get taken out on this point. Can the monkey even touch? As trying his best to stall it out. The bomb goes very deep into the spawn. Doesn't quite find anything, but does get a remech onto that D.Va. 600 more HP they have to contend with. And now the monkey's going to lose their life as well. And with a little bit under 2 minutes here, Savannah Soyboys will be capping Dorado, which is not always the easiest thing to do. Many points on this map where you can get stuck down, bogged down, if you will, for a very long time. So, quite impressive time bank to start, and now it's maize's turn to respond.
Yeah, and maize is going to have to respond pretty effectively, because with a 2-minute time bank on the other side, you can't really finish in overtime and be okay with that, because you're going to be giving your other team just such a time advantage that it almost will feel impossible to win the map. And because these are first to twos, you don't want to kind of forfeit those maps too early, right? You want to make every map winnable, because the second you go down one, it puts that extra level of pressure on you to put you at match point. And I mean, maize, they've been historically a bit better on the offense than the defense. And what is this from the Savannah Soyboys? Roadhog Sigma genuinely on the field.
I'm gonna be honest, I saw this earlier today in the Pachifornias versus Texas match, and it was because Texas was tilted out of their mind. They were just like, man, we don't know what to do. Let's just run some comfort picks, and they proceeded to get, after they got full hold on Anubis first, they proceeded to then lose very quickly in that defense there. Don't think that's happening here because they had a very good offense. I think this is like a planned strategy to try and counter maybe some flankers. I don't know how it will do into the rush though. I think the rush is pretty hog proof.
Yeah, and that's the downside to the rush, especially as variant of the rush, right, with the Symmetra, because it allows the Reinhardt to be mobile, and it allows the whole composition to just run around. You don't even have to worry about the Kree on an off angle. That'd be the thing the Hog wants to hook, right? So now the question is, what does a Roadhog do besides feed over ult charge, hand over fist? And it's just kind of force you to play this passive role. You're seeing they're already giving up the arches. Everyone's taking a far back angle besides that Roadhog with the health. And Coolpika on the Sigma just looking for a little bit of damage poke.
I think, I don't know if my PC crashed, so...
Well, it's
sorry.
A-okay. We're going into this next fight, and it's going to be very, very interesting. As Pomku, we are on board with now the Symmetra, trying to teleport everybody up to the high ground, is behind the enemy team. Hanzo not expecting it, but unfortunately not able to connect and get the final kills there. Both these teams still brawling back and forth. The Ash from Zool just destroying sentry turrets. This car only has 1.46 meters to go. Azu, though, going to find the early pick onto Coolpika. That's not what you want to see for the side of Savannah Soyboys, and the Reinhardt as well. And they cap the point before the fight is even over. Zappi and Pomku on the end of it, just finding insane value.
And yeah, so GPU sometimes doesn't like me. Very fun. But I'm back, and a really nice take there. 5 minutes to go, coming into second point here for Midwest here, and you're gonna see McMee shoot out those dragons. Gonna be swapping very shortly, I assume, over to the Mei. Interesting. They're gonna be trying to match this rush. But what do you think about the Sigma against that Diva? It's very different, like stylistically.
Stylistically, it's different, but what the heroes do is almost exactly the same. You provide the shield to give yourself like extra Reinhardt versus like a defense matrix, but going right in with the Flux, this is the big difference maker. Flux versus Bomb.
There is that beat, and now you already have that Flux out, so the main big difference, and sometimes even an advantage for Sigma, is now gone. Now you can just push forward here if you are maize, and that's exactly what they'll do. They lose 2 in the meantime, they lose their fast, speedy Lucio, but he'll be able to get that line back just in time, perhaps, but this Mei is already super close, and gonna try to look to contest. And never mind, not contesting, not allowed.
Not contesting. It's going to fall over. Just a few stagger picks here as Coolpika. And now Mei is deciding to answer back like, hey, you got 4 minutes going into third. We have 5.5. And if they can keep this tempo up, they'll even finish with a better time bank. And they should be able to keep this tempo up. That's the most important thing. They have Blame with the Mei ult. Has been devastating before. It's going to be on Pika to eat this. Switching over to the Diva pretty early now. But Azu with the Amplification Matrix, you can't eat that damage. And it's just coming in.
Bomb in the backline as well, forces out that block. The Lucio was forced to go into that corridor. He doesn't end up losing his life trying to leave. He has a very speedy frog, and right now the flank is super low, forcing out the lamp. The wall doesn't really catch anything right now as Blame is forced to cryo. You already lost your person, but now you freeze up the Diva. There's no DM on the field, but I don't know if there's enough follow-up, and that there isn't. Zool on the flank doesn't get frozen, finds the picks they need, and a really nice job there of splitting up their team so the Blizzard doesn't get too much impact.
And that's absolutely devastating because you're getting the stagger pick now, Satby, running off the edge of the map finally, but it's all about burning that time bank, right? And you were able to burn it most effectively by winning that fight if you're Savannah, and you won it pretty much off the back of the Earth Shatter alone. And you have to remember what maize invested into that. It was the Blizzard, the Amplification Matrix. They even threw in Satby's Diva Bomb. I mean, you can't throw in 3 ults like that. Now maize, they do have the time bank to work with, so they're probably just going to go for an eco pusher here or 2. Not really looking to win off of any of these fights, just trying to get some ults out.
That's nice. They go up high ground as soon as the Amplification Matrix is put down. They don't catch anyone. Oh, they do catch one. The Lucio spam coming through that Amplified Matrix does find Kumpu. You've lost a lot of damage. And while your BAP was trying to run away really low, you could have seen maybe an angle to take him out. But instead, you've lost your main damage source, and now you're just kind of waiting. You're taking this poke. You have less poke than its other team, but now they're going on the aggression. They have the Amp Matrix of their own, but you have to watch this flank. There goes the smaller HD. He's just gone, but still, the Mei is on the flank right now. I don't know if anyone's spotted it just yet. And there's the blizzard, but as soon as it's happened, I see the team running away from it. I don't know if it's quite caught anything, and you have Blame with the blizzard of their own. That should go right on that point as the D.Va is backing back up. And now, no one is caught by it, because the block does stop that from affecting the Mei, but Zool on this side doesn't quite find anything except for a hammer to the face with the Little Frog's help. And now pushing in further, 3 minutes to go, a little bit over that 2-minute time bank, but I can see very similar time banks here.
Yes, indeed, and it's going to be pretty similar, especially with the ultimate. That's all but guaranteed that they will cap here, just because of the amount of advantages they have. Person's Earth Shatter should be mighty unless Frank can stop it and shield it, but the wall's already out from the Symmetra.
Oh, but they do a really good job of just rushing it down, going through the wall. You can't play a mid-game against that wall, and a great shatter puts 2 on their back. And right now it's Person trying to stay alive through this onslaught of damage right now. He does it the Fire Strike and he manages to live. Blame in the backside though. Zool managed to take out 1 in this stalled out fight. That could be important. It is Blame with the most CC you have to stop any ball that would be contesting. Frank charges onto the point. Doesn't have an Earth Shatter, but is going to try to stall as long as possible. Pika stays on that D.Va, not opting into that ball, and that might cost them. No, the Tracer will be able to touch here. Perhaps, but it doesn't recall. They don't touch, though. They have to get recalled before they can, and they don't get the touch off. And a little bit, 7 seconds ahead here for maize.
Yes, indeed, and it feels kind of bad to be in that position for the Soy Boys, simply because both Frank and Pika were very close to their ultimates, being the Earth Shatter and the D.Va Bomb, and both of those can win you that kind of overtime stall point. So neither wanted to switch to the Wrecking Ball, who we know is like probably the best stall hero in all of Overwatch to make sure you get back to that point quick and stay on it long. But because neither of them were able to switch to it, nobody gets the contest, and we're seeing the Soy Boys have to go back to their first attack here, and hopefully improve upon it further, because you only have 1:54. You don't have all that luxurious time bank you had the first time around, and it looks like both teams are going to stick with the rush. Obviously, the attackers can switch at the last second, so it's not concrete set in stone yet, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see this rush v rush mirror.
Yeah, and you kind of see the difference, right? On that defense, I wonder if this next round, does Savannah Soyboys go for the same Sigma Hog defense? I highly doubt it. Like, I don't know even what they were kind of attempting with that. Maybe it was an anti-dive strat, but as soon as they see this rush, it's kind of a nightmare for that Hog, and a close hold coming out here for maize, so gonna be interesting to see if this catches anyone off guard. They see the Symmetra putting up the turret, so they are aware of what's happening. They may wall the entrance so they can't contest from the doorway, but they lose Person extremely quickly, and now people leave. They're just gone. They just TP out, we're gone, we're waiting for Person. Not the worst fight to take. You don't lose that much.
So they were attempting like a spawn hold, and it's becoming very common on escort maps to go for these simply because it's good time burners, especially in these overtime rounds where it's all about burning that time. But the issue was they were just May-walled off, so they weren't able to stall the Cardo, but Blame with these headshots!
Oh, he's cracked out of his mind right now, and he is just doing some crazy things on that Mei. Some people kind of forget that Mei is the sniper hero in many ways. As no fall off, by the way, and a 150 HP a headshot. So a lot of damage coming out from Blame and the strike swing true, and still no ultimates on the table. The closest person is Frank. Never mind. See, Azu does have their own. So this next fight is key and like kind of a neutral fight, building up these last couple ultimates.
Yeah, this is the last fight you can really lose if you're the Savannah Soy Boys, because after that you're in that final fight overtime territory. And so maybe you kind of take this fight slow. You bait out the amplification matrix, bait out the blizzard, and just kind of die to it willingly. But Zool actually getting the first pick.
Yeah, Titan goes down. Both immortality fields are down. You lose McMean. So you've actually lost a lot of CC right there. And you got a blizzard of your own. But Zool's on the flank right now, as he has been this entire game. And he manages to find one with the high noon. He's pushing forward, doesn't quite find the stun, but does find the headshot right after. He'll lose his life. And Blame is super low though. Blame is one shot. Finally gets the amped healing there from Titan. And they're just waiting for their respawns to come back in for both sides. This Tracer looking to touch, and it's gonna see, can they do it? They do, and actually it's gonna be D.Va pinned on that thing. The shadow comes down, it's D.Va and two others on the floor, but the turrets are set up on that choke. Unless someone looks at them to take them out, this could be a nightmare to push through. That Doomfist is gonna take a lot of damage from those turrets, and the shadow is available. Ooh, a little bit of a hop, it still finds two somehow, even through that shield, As Frank gonna be on the back foot now, and he's going low. He's got no shield. He's got to hide. And now the bomb comes out. And he finds Person. Person not able quick enough to. Oh wait, two come out here from Cool Pika right now as they find the bomb kill and also the squish onto the Lucio. But the double freeze comes in. The multi freeze playing dividends here. As they all go down to the follow-up damage. The Symmetra is supercharged. Doomfist looking to get on this point, and I don't know how they can manage to win this though. They don't really have anything.
Yeah, indeed. It's just going to be this kind of cleanup stall fight that you normally expect from both of these teams. As it looks like the Tracer's finally falling. Pomku, the Symmetra damage, that beam just powering up time and again. And round 3 will end there. 60.44 meters is all the Savannah Soyboys will have to their name, as they're going to have to hold for, I believe it is 2 minutes and 7 seconds. 3 seconds. Slide off.
Yes, and if you were here for the B-League stream so far today, these kind of fights would be nothing new to you. As this has been, that was all of Canada versus Sunset, was those kind of fights at the end of the game, at the end of the rounds. And honestly, after casting so many of these fights, I think my brain has turned to mush finally. And we'll be seeing here if we can have more of those. Can my brain literally disintegrate entirely in the response of this cast here? You'll be here and watch it live. But rolling out here again, won't be seeing Sigma Hog. I mean, I think that was kind of an expectation to not see the Sigma Hog. So we'll see how they actually do on this defense with real composition in terms of its impact into this rush composition. But how do you think their rush will fare, especially when they're not? Doesn't seem like they're going to close hold. So they're only going to have basically like the one fight.
Yeah, I mean, the one fight is generally safer, because if you get walled off and the payload pushes a little too far, you can get yourself into a staggered type of scenario. So I guess it's safer to go for the one fight here on the defense. Meanwhile, on the offense, I feel as though Zool is doing a lot on this McCree, but it's just kind of the Symmetra difference. It makes the Reinhardt just that much more mobile, and it allows so much more value to just come from the entire team as a whole. Like, look at this. A Reinhardt on high ground this early into the game should never happen, but here we are, Symmetra enabling it.
And now Blame, once again, we already know he's a sniper with those icicles. He finds another. Zool picks head out, but McMean, not to be overshadowed here, is going to find Kumpu. You've lost a lot of damage now with that Symmetra. You're forced to block on this point, though, and McMean has to back up. Doesn't end up going down, but a lot of damage coming out from both sides. Blame just going to be shooting away right now. Both immortality fields are down, and they finally, Titan loses their life. They don't have that amp speed to get out of the situation, and now the Rhino will just be walked at. Frank does a lot of damage to that shield, but McMean with a little bit of that freezing spell does manage to get the last bit. Now, I mean, a really good start here for Savannah.
Yes, indeed, and you can finally get that first breath of hopium into the lungs of the Savannah Soyboys, because now they have a good ult advantage, being able to definitively win that fight with the beat online early. Like, look at this beat difference as Drams drops the amplification matrix early. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much more CO's been able to do.
Oh, you peek a little bit too early, but it's just on the other side of that, so does McMean. Would you rather have Titan, or would you rather have Yume when Titan was nowhere close to that beat, and now Yume has the Blizzard, and there's no Blizzard to counter it? The turret's doing so much damage, finds the Lucio, so not even still CEO will be able to speed anyone out of this fight. And Satovic, I'm not even going to try to say that, does manage to find Cool Pika, doesn't manage to get a remake off, and now Frank is on this point, going to go down. The Shatter finds one kill outside, and it will be the first map here going over to maize after what looked to be a really good attack from Soyboys. It's just maize did it better.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the theme of maize's kind of run in this lower bracket, and this tournament as a whole really is just they aren't that good defensively, and so people will get good time banks on them, but then their attack, they'll just do it better and faster, and Blame is one of those reasons. I mean, look at this.
Yeah,
you can't, if this was a McCree or a Widow, you'd be like, okay, they're doing exactly what you expect of them, but to do that as a May, it's just not even normal.
As I slip into the shadows here because my lighting techniques in these rooms are absolutely awful. Yeah, I mean, that was a really massive performance for Blame. I mean, if you were there for the last game, anyone who was there, that's a Cock Johnson performance. But we will be seeing here this next map. It will be Assault. So it's wondering, where will Soulboys want to go on Assault? Like, where do they kind of feel comfortable on? Obviously, in the rush mirror, it seemed that maize had their number. So maybe they want to go to a map that probably not Hanamura. They probably don't want Hanamura if they don't like rush.
I mean, yeah, earlier today they were picking Temple of Anubis as their map of choice because they kind of feed into the compositions there. But honestly, I feel as though Volskaya might be the answer for them. They seem to like this rush composition a bit more, not really opting into the Winston. So Soyboys, the issue being with that rush comp, regardless of which map you pick, is that maize on the other side, they love rush too. They're doing it just as well, if not better than you are, because they're running that Symmetra and it's just getting consistent value. And it looks like it is actually going to be Hanamura in, and we're also going to see a substitution. Drams coming out of the support role and Dr. Lil Liver coming in potentially just for that Baptiste difference, instead of a more aggro Bap like someone like Drams who can get picks, you want somebody who can just play more passively, get a little bit more consistent healing going. But yeah, Soyboys, you're on match point before you're eliminated. With the day you've had, you don't want to go out like this. You want to at least put up the map here and force us to map 3.
Yeah, but again, maize is no stranger to map 3 either. They went the distance with Canada as well. So I mean, just a battle-tested team here if you are maize. And it's going to be interesting to see. They opt into Hanamura. I said if you don't want rush, you don't want to pick Hanamura. Obviously, they feel better about their rush than I do. And obviously, they know more about how their team works than I do. So I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to say anything about me being right or not. But from that last performance, it did seem that Maze's sim rush was quite good. And I think I would want to avoid that personally. But Savannah Soyboys takes on the challenge as they will be picking the map that they kind of fit into. So that's going to be interesting to see if they pull out any actually different strat than I'm expecting, because when I see Hanamura, I think everyone expects just you sim TP rush to point, but maybe some double shield will come out.
Yeah, you have the option of this different Symmetra teleporters, whether it's to point to one of the high grounds, just to kind of fake the teleport. It's always a different option with Symmetra in play, but for the defense, you have a few different options. We've seen kind of close holds with the Junkrat where you're just consistently building tire off cooldown. On the other side of it as well, you have, as you said, stuff like the double shield. The one thing I will say that doesn't really work here is Winston, but it's A-okay because none of these teams have been opting into the Winston, so you don't really need to worry about it. Especially going into that second point, I feel as though maybe I'll give the slight edge over to the Soyboys simply because Zool has been devastating on that McCree. And if you can set up a hit scan on any of the high grounds on second point, whether you're on attack or defense, it can just burn so much time with just super early picks. I mean, it's just nuts.
Yeah, and Zool has been impressive. He has been hitting a lot of shots, and it's going to be interesting to see if they go for that kind of just trying to set him up. But again, I mean, Savannah must feel not so good right now because you come in from the last match where it was kind of a stomp, to be honest, against you, and you go down hard into lower bracket, and then right after that match you have to play off against Maze, who's been having a really good lower bracket run. And I think that might, and going down the first map, especially in like a long drawn out fashion, it might wear on you, right? It might wear on your mental a bit. So if their mental can stay strong, I can believe in them. I doubt that Hog is going to be an actual Hog. I would hope not. I would hope it isn't a Hog.
I mean, who doesn't like a good Roadhog? If you're ever played rank, you've seen those funny little Roadhog heroes come out from time to time before. It's just kind of a style difference. But now we're seeing both teams accept the mirror, it seems. It's interesting to see the defensive Symmetra, but it allows you to both hold choke and point at the same time if you're quick enough, right? All you have to do is click that little F button wherever the teleporter is set up, and you can kind of jump between the two with your Reinhardt, which is honestly really smart, and it's what you like to see.
And the ice wall here to stall out some time. We do a little bit of trolling here on Maze as they take the TP, but their shield was really low going through that. There was a long time on that setup, and now Drayton is going to be the benefactor or the recipient of a lot of this front damage, but Frank is the first one to go down. The lamp a little bit too late there, or bombs not able to be put in the proper location, the wall, splitting it away. And right now it's going to be Drayton's time to try and push forward, look for some damage, but not too aggressively here, as that Symmetra still is a danger. You have to wait kind of for that speed so you can all in the Symmetra as soon as possible. There's going to be a lot of peel coming in because that's their win condition. As it's charging up right now, I don't think sitting here against the Symmetra is what you want to do. Frank is now back and your shield is super low if you're Drayton. So you don't have a lot of defensive resources, and especially when you've given that Symmetra so much charge. Drayton stuck on that bell and that wall does get punted a little bit. The Immortality Field does go down finally, as with that Amplification Matrix doesn't get enough because of that wall, and the counter Amplification Matrix is finally out. A lot of damage come through. Almost has the wall, but it wouldn't even matter. A 3-man fire strike through the to just take them all out. That's not even Amp Matrix, I don't believe. Unless it is.
Actually, it was the Amp.
It was Amp Matrix. Sorry, but man, that is a snipe and a half.
I mean, yeah, Liver just put down the amplification matrix at the right time. And it's all about that kind of synergy between your BAP and your Rhine to know the precise timings to get that right. And now we're seeing a TP over the coast side just get you in there that much quicker. Yeah, as you said, you don't expect it and you might get a free tick out of it.
Not a free tick, but the wall is already being forced out. The Symmetra on this high ground isn't really close enough to try and beam. As I say that, they get just in position to beam. The beat, though, is already out. The Shatter comes down along with that Blizzard, but is eaten by the D.Va. A really nice eaten massive, but Cool Pika! He's almost close to doing it. He's done this so many times. We've seen it time and time again. Massive bomb carry plays. The counter bomb, though, is going up in the air. The BAP does lose his life, but the D.Va should be losing the mech quite shortly. If they win this point, it's off of that D.Va bomb. What a massive play. And then Lucio coming out to stall. As you on that high ground, going to be uncontested. No one really touched him but that D.Va. Finally, McMean actually the one to finally get it, and the Blizzard stalling out this point. The D.Va's gonna get frozen up and potentially lose their mech. They don't have that bomb to get back in, and still not a tick has been gained here for the side of Savannah Soyboys, despite the fact they had a lot of great plays. And going on to this May, the May is one shot gonna be found by Drayton. Drayton finding 2 massive plays on him from the ball, and now it's just gonna be a cleanup here. As a really back and forth fight, but in the end you feel really bad as you got no ticks out of that.
I mean, I need to know who on the side of Soyboys is going to continue to pay for Pika's chiropractor, because this is back-breaking carrying we're seeing come out from a D.Va player. Pretty much 2 kills with every single bomb, as well as the follow-up, the booping out of the Immortality Field to get the picks. I mean, it's just phenomenal play, but still not able to capitalize, get even a single tick. And now they're looking for a cheeky TP, it looks like, straight up main.
Oh, I forgot that TP even exists. It's been so long since I've seen it, but they come straight out, and now they throw the Blizzard down. Not eaten this time, but instead just countered by raw damage and aggression here for maize. But again, like a really nice shatter, but you're like trading out kills. It's not gonna win you the fight, and you were already down 4, I believe, at that point. So you don't get much of anything, and now we're seeing the stagger. Not a fried stagger, but still a stagger nonetheless.
I mean, and you saw it right there at the very end as we switched camera views over to Pomku. I mean, just sitting on this high ground, uncontested, just firing pop shots as McCree, and this is where that McCree will get more value than the Symmetra, right? When you don't have to teleport your team because they're the defenders, they just go out to point and they stand on point. And it's just going to be this consistent damage that's always coming out. With the Deadeye online now as well, that can instantly win you a fight. But your advantage here for the attackers is going to be your amplification matrix. You have it online, Azu doesn't. Hopefully you can make it work.
Really interesting CP play straight into them, but right into the Earthshatter flashbang basically. And now you have a real Earthshatter from Drayton, but he's way too far. He can't get healed. There's a massive wall in front of his team that's stopping him from getting healed. Zul is one shot on this point. Someone lightly touch him, and finally Azu does. He's been bloodthirsty all day actually, kind of silently just killing everyone. But these turrets on points have to get dealt with, and it's not the D.Va to do it. The baby D.Va doesn't manage to do it in time, but again, you're trading out kills on 2 CP, a classic 2 CP moment. Even if you're like winning a fight technically on numbers, you won't be in about 4 seconds. So you really have to all in win a fight with 6 or 5 people up, and they don't manage to do that once again.
And I was feeling so confident for the Soyboys. They came into this with 5.5 minutes, truly feeling themselves, and now we're looking already beneath the 2-minute mark. And what ultimates do you have to show for it, right? You have this D.Va bomb, you have the Blizzard from McMean, but Sappi's already eaten one, but wouldn't be that hard to eat another. You got to make sure that D.Va stays frozen up when you use it, and you have to get a clean team wipe. You have to get the team kill gong ringing as we're seeing just again, they're pathing high ground, slamming their head into the brick wall, hoping this one works.
There goes the bomb into the backside. Catches Titan somehow. A really nice boop there as the pin goes forward. This is the fight you're looking for, but Drayton can find some on the outside of that. The Blizzard finally going down. Blame kind of just rockets himself into the ceiling. He does die, and now you're going to lose your Diva as well, but ooh, nice. Just in time, McMeme gets that thing out. If the DM isn't good here, though, you can lose 2. You only lose 1, and you lose a mech. That's basically losing 2. And again, a 2 CP moment indeed. You've lost people, you've traded kills, and you have no way to insta-kill 5 people, so you are going to lose this fight. They have not gotten a single tick, and once again, I ask BP, why did you decide this map should be in the pool? Why did you decide 2 CP should be in the pool? What have you done? What have you done, BP?
I mean, 2 CP, it's the name of the game, and as painful as it is to say and admit, maize is playing it perfectly. They are okay with losing 1 or 2. They know they'll get the respawns. It's all about securing that pick, but this is the best opportunity that you're going to get for the side of the Soyboys. The only thing you have to worry about is Titan's beat drop. You can shatter. You have your own beat. You have amplification matrix. In a long fight, you'll get your Deadeye. You might even get your Blizzard if McBeam can hit some shots. It just, you have to go now. 10 seconds left.
Nice wall there to stop that fire strike. You saw Titan there try to boop them off, but Titan now, because he went for that boop play, he doesn't have the ability to go up there and beat them. So now you have the Hyding coming out on point. Another nice wall. The Diva could lose the mech. They go over it instead of staying behind it. Titan lost their life on that rotation. Again, the kind of the flank that doesn't work out. But as I say that, again, everyone's just dying here from that high ground position. Az is just up there, throwing down damage along with Blame on the point, who we know is a sharpshooter. He's not gonna miss. And as we see in the chat, fun game mode. I mean, that feels dirty. That feels extremely dirty.
That was like 2 CP normally feels bad to anyone who does it, but it feels even worse on that specific round because like almost every single engage from out of the Soyboys, they got 2 picks. Like it was theirs. Yep. They had it in the palm of their hands and it just slipped through like sand. And now with elimination on the line, they have to hold point A or draw point B to stay in this tournament. And honestly, after what they've gone through today, I don't know if they have the mental that can do it.
I mean, to have 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes to take a point, and you come away with not a single tick. With every single fight, you're up 3 to 4 people. It just feels demoralizing, right? You just feel like you're powerless in a lot of ways. Like, we couldn't even do this. And credit to maize, they did a really good job stalling it out. But still, it feels really bad as someone who has had that happen to me. And a lot of people that also, like, not even just in rank, but in like competition, when like you're competing for things, like it just feels like completely demoralizing. And with their tournament hopes on the line, basically, this is lower bracket again. If they lose this map, they're out, they're eliminated. And to have that happen to you, it feels garbage.
Feels garbage, but hope is not lost. Point A is holdable, and you're doing it with the Junkrat, right? So you're expecting a lot of spam damage, and that's going to be the name of your game instead of the Mei. But the issue is with no Mei walls to stop this brain dead aggression that can come out from the side of maize, and we're seeing it already. Drayton is in.
No Mei walls stop the aggression, but a couple of nades to the face might dissuade them from trying to push forward. There's no shield on Drayton. Finally putting it up, finally get it back here. As you're just trying to, I don't know, you can't even really poke here. Maybe you're looking for a Blame to get some headshots here. There's not much you can do pushing in. This Junkrat is just going to spam you out. So Metro went on a flank. Do they get punished for it? No. As you don't actually see what happened to Drayton there. He does just get kind of melted through that wall. And now you have the Ant Matrix out here for Azu, but they just pushed past it. But a nice flank from Kumpu could change the situation, but McMee was on the case. The beat, so fast from Titan actually, a good like 30-20% over. And now Azu's looking for blood. They want the Symmetra, but they can't quite find it. And now this tire on point should clean this up. A nice first fight here. If you are Savannah Soyboys, you keep your beat and you expend your enemies.
Yes, indeed. You win that fight with just the tire, right? And you're able to build 3 of your ults online. You're close to the Diva Bomb as well as the Amplification Matrix. 2 fast building ults, so you'll probably have those. It's all about the ult rotations now. That's going to be the name of your game for the Soyboys, because if you blow it all in one fight, then the attackers are just going to have a huge advantage. Meanwhile, for the attackers, you just kind of
Diva.
eco push this. No,
The
Pika
beat
just
comes
staggered.
out to try and save it, and they can't. Sure, you forced out Lamp, but you just lost your beat for nothing. And now you have the... Oh, a nice mine! Puts Drayton in the air! He cannot stop that! Now you're going to go in the back line. The bomb goes out, and this Frank's shield is turned, so he does eventually go down. And now the Symmetra is free to run wild. Azu loses their life, and now it's a DPS fight on point. But Diva, basically a DPS, melting people. But Zool and McMeme come out on top. They keep this point alive and well here for Savannah Soyboys. And while they do have some staggers, it's still just fine here. They have that TP.
Yes, they're TPing, which means that your whole team is going to be back for the defense, which is normally a big problem to this point A, but Pumpku just didn't do enough there. It just sucks in that situation. Drayton got booped up and picked way too early when you had such an advantage, but now you're feeling the pressure if you're the attackers, right? Maize, you have to make something work here. Potentially it's the Shatter or this Blizzard, but the giant wall.
But the Diva's dead again. I mean, it just happens over and over again. The Tire doesn't quite find anything. How did your Diva just loses their life over and over again? Finally, the bomb comes out, puts people on the ground. Titan somehow falls off the map. And despite that looking pretty good here for Maize, they end up losing the fight nonetheless. And you don't have anything going in this next fight. And Seal CEO is very close to their own beat. Is this a full hold, potentially?
I mean, you're pushing towards it, right? But both sides kind of throwing ultimates at the wall, hoping it would work. And in the end, the defenders are starting to prevail. But you're matching beats pretty much, both around 70% right now. The amplification matrix, Liver has a huge advantage going into what could be the final fight. But Drayton's already in these turrets.
Turrets are doing so much damage. Shoot the turret challenge! Not completed! Finally, the Diva looks at it, but it's not long enough. You have to reset now. You have 30 seconds. Die. Die or run. Die or run. That's your 2 missions. You managed to take out Frank. You managed to bait up the beat. You have to run. You have to reset now. You have to get time to touch this point. You have to not stagger out any further. You can't stand that close. You lose your Vine. The Vine is down. You lost the beat. This is winnable. This is your best fight possibility, and I don't even know if it's gonna happen.
I feel like Maize came into this a little too confident. They thought they could get the clean 2-0, and now they might be throwing it away as we're in final fight, but he starts it.
He starts it off, but can he finish it is the real question. They charge away! You can't do that! You can't leave your team to die! And that's exactly what happens. Everyone's on the ground, everyone is dead, and the full hold comes out. We were so doomer. We were so doomer on this cast. We were like, their mentals, it's gone. But Soyboys, they bring it back. And they full hold when they have to for their tournament life, basically.
Drayton just threw the game. I don't know what else to say. Like that final fight was just thrown by Drayton. The pin, potentially a misclick, huge fire strike in this play, by the way. But just maybe a misclick, maybe just a miscomm, whatever have the reason. Your Reinhardt just left, and it lets you all get shattered. And when everybody's on the ground, Junkrat rubs his little evil hands together and just decides, oh, look, at all this damage I can output uncontested. And now both teams tied 1-1 as we are going to be heading to Koth, the final map. Both these teams want to stay alive in this tournament, but only one can continue to advance.
Man, that just feels bad. I mean, you can say he threw the match. You can also say maybe we shouldn't have spent 4 minutes doing nothing, basically, on that first point. But well played to Savannah Soyboys. McMeme pulling out the Junkrat and just showing off its power. Don't need the Mei when you just have raw damage pumping out on the front line. And I mean, looking at control here, you have Oasis, you have Ilios, you have Nepal. I mean, what map do you want to go to if you're Savannah?
I mean,
not Ilios, hopefully, because that map sucks.
If you're Savannah, you probably don't want. Like, I would guess your best bet would be Nepal, simply because you can run a little bit more Reinhardt and Symmetra there, and I'm surprised they took so long to reveal Zool Symmetra, because Zool Symmetra was absolutely pounding cheeks on those maps. But I feel as though with the ball in Maize's court, they could throw everybody off and pick something like Ilios. They've picked Ilios a lot in this tournament, or at least played it, and they've been pretty good there every single time. So, I don't know. It's all about what these teams want to do going into the final map.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not Ilios, because that map is somehow They made a map that wasn't 2CP worse than 2CP. Lucio Mains, you can fight me. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to say that Savannah Soyboys holding on after this day. It's been a really tough day. We keep going on and on about their mental in this day, but I mean, it's been a rough day for them, and they're still holding on mentally. So a lot of great mental fortitude coming out there. So really props to them. And now we're heading into this final round, or final map. But Maize is like I said earlier, Maize is no stranger to third maps. They did it against Canada, who I think is one of the stronger teams in the tournament, in the tourney. So if I think they can pull this out, but the momentum has swung back in Soyboy's favor.
Yeah, definitely, and it's just going to be all about that kind of mental reset. You have to remember scores 1-1, so pretty much the first two maps that just happened don't really matter. And as I predicted, we're seeing Ilios come in as Maze's pick, which means they're going to get a little bit creative. It would be the nicest way to put it. We're going to see probably some monkey, probably some ball.
Monkey.
It's just all about if the value can get it exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what different compositions we run out. Not a lot of rush played on this map traditionally. It can be played on maps like Ruins and on Lighthouse, but definitely on Well especially, we do see not very much rush. A lot more of that dive or ball fair kind of style. So it's going to be interesting what both of these teams lean towards. And if Savannah tries to force the rush or tries to force something with, I don't even know where you can play Junkrat on this map, but somehow McMeme's going to play Junkrat, right? Try and pull it out here. I mean, it was a really good Junkrat on Hanamura, and it's going to be interesting what these two teams try to strategically change up in this match, because it's a map unlike the last two we've played.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're still just waiting to get into map here. Both teams need to take a quick little potty break. They've been playing all day, so of course you don't want to just kind of blitz right into it, right? You want to make sure you're A-okay, ready and good to go for these maps, because this is your tournament life on the line. So you want to make sure you can give it your all, not thinking about how you really need to pee or anything like that. And honestly, I don't know who is the favorite anymore. Maize was the favorite coming into this. This is just absolutely nuts.
In the same vein, however, we do have Pachifornia Palms going 1-1 with Sunrise here. So a map 3 banger on the A stream as well. Just a couple map 3s going on here. Final map of the day for both streams, and it seems to be going the distance here, as going to see who, again, both those teams fighting for their elimination as well. And honestly, it's been a long day for every team that's involved here in these last two maps. It's been a quite long day. They've at least played at 6 or later. They've been on to now, so quite a long day, and it'll be the end very shortly. But that match is a match to look forward to. But again, back here, back with Maize, back with Soyboys. I mean, this is tense. There's some tense in this match. You don't know what it's gonna go. Like you said, I have no idea. I had ideas coming in the match, what I thought was gonna happen, and after that Hanamura, my expectations were just completely shattered. I don't know what to think of this Ilios. It really just comes down, what kind of wackiness are we gonna see that could come out here?
I mean, yeah, it's just all about that wackiness, right? Like I said, Maize, they've run this map before. It was actually the first map I think we saw them play on against the Burns and the Bees way back yesterday, the first game of the day. And they were running some very interesting stuff. We saw a little bit of the Pharah, some double hit scan to counter the Pharah on the other side. We didn't even see Well go on that map. They just quickly 2-0'd it. So I wouldn't be all too surprised, but also going back to the Ilios game, we saw a lot of wrecking ball, and I feel like that's going to be where Maze's bread is buttered, simply because they have such an advantage with something like a wrecking ball, right? It forces a lot of resources in order to kill, and if you're running something like a Pharah Tracer, you can't necessarily always kill it guaranteed. So Drayen or Sappi, whoever's running it, if they're running it, I feel is going to be pretty much immortal feeling on the map. And who knows, we might not even go to we're not guaranteed all 3 rounds, right? So we could just 100% say a team has strategies prep for Well and Lighthouse, then we just go Well Lighthouse. It's a quick 2-0. You don't even see the Well. But hopefully the Well does come up, because we all like to see the halts into the Well, the hooks, everything the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I have a feeling in this match, someone's going to be seeing the well in a very intimate fashion. Most likely sent down there by Lucio. But something is going to occur in that well, I'm pretty sure. Somehow, somewhere. I expect this map potentially can go to the distance. I think it can go to 3 maps. We already had that in the last match. We had Canada versus Sunrise. They went to the 3rd map on the 3rd round. The 3rd round on the 3rd map, which, man, it's been a wild, long day of games so far on this B stream. We started out there with Pachifornia, eliminating Texas. Now they're playing for their elimination once again against Sunrise, who was put down by Canada in our last match. So a little bit of interconnectivity here as the B League playing on that A stream now, and B stream playing on that A stream now, and again, still waiting for this match. I think some people grabbed some water, as it looks like we'll be entering into the game very shortly here, as teams seem to be ready. And just like that, production comes through as always. Amazing people over there, as we'll be going into this map. Looking here, we're starting on well, so we will guaranteed to see the well.
Yes, indeed. You love to see the well, right? This is where the most chaotic comps do reside. We've seen, honestly, I was just about to talk about the original meme comp on well being the double shield Torbjorn, but beating me to it are the side of the Soyboys, and they look to want to run it, right? This composition with the 2 shields and the Torbjorn is all about rotating. Essentially, you're just playing ring around the rosy on the well until you get the picks you want. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's going to be pretty much a poke composition. Yeah, you're seeing Pomku just sim teleport out of spawn, go over to the Tracer, and it's all about poking and diving, but it's an all-in type of dive, where once they're on a target, it either needs to die or they have failed their objective.
Yeah, and you see this Torbjorn coming out here. It's a very anti-dive. Like, that's like the whole point of the turret is to keep that Tracer in check and keep that Echo in check who's on that flank. Again, interesting, we don't see the Mercy that's usually accompanying an Echo. As the ball goes in, the Drain takes a lot of damage, but doesn't end up losing his life for it. The Adaptive Shield plus that DM are just enough. Kaiden, however's head is found by Zul, who we have noted as a quite impressive hit scan player so far this game. And I mean, it's still, once again, finding the pick onto the Zen is just absolutely massive. Again, first person to find the well. It will be Drayton, and it is because of a Lucio, so that prediction rings true. Drayton learned a lot about that well right there, and now it'll just be a quick cleanup on this point. How can you break this Torbjorn composition? Looks like some swaps are going to come out. It's going to be with more poke.
Yes, indeed, and now with this kind of composition switch up, you're going to have to feel, right? You're seeing Pika over to the Diva now, and that's going to have to eat a lot of this damage. And a complete comp swap. You know, the Rush 1 tricks deciding that the Wrecking Ball is too much for them. They do not like it. They've full swapped their comp back to Rush, but they're going to have to batter into an Amplification Matrix now, and I don't think this fight's going to go well for them.
There goes Drayton's shield. He's charging it back up. The Baptiste is caught out, however, but I say that, but it's actually Blame is the one who will lose their life right there, as now the Orisa is going to be the next one in danger. Going low, but they're trying to survive this high noon. That shield's going to break. You can't hide behind it. The beat just to secure it, and another fight win coming out here for Savannah Soyboys. But luckily enough for maize, these fights have been pretty quick, and only 43%.
Yeah, but by the time you're back, you're going to be looking probably around 60% before the fight really starts. And this turret position is interesting to say the least. It gets a lot of value up there on that little tilt. We promise it's a tactical tilt. But, you know, you kind of take that fight in stride if you're maize. You're able to build up close to your Earth Shatter now, your Diva Bomb as well. But the Supercharger already out is going to help just zone and buy more tick point percentage for the side of Savannah.
Wow, the double shield poke comp. Not even double shield, just the poke comp. There's no second shield. Diva does not have a shield, although DM can feel like it at some points. But we will be seeing the rush out now. You've kited out the Bongo, you've kited out Torb ult, and now it's time for you to take control of this point. You have Drayton already on this other side. They're going to be pushing in a nice DM to stop that fire strike from going through. But a good bomb into the backline could find one. Doesn't quite find it. Drayton loses their life, but Zul is traded out. Now you have the opportunity to push forward. Larissa has no gold. Could be very low. Going to be stunned up. Going to be losing their life very shortly. Does put that shield down just before they do. And Dr. Little Liver has another Ant Matrix so quickly. But McMeme, who does peek that, does lose their life. And it's 99% in counting here as the fight does seem to be winding down. The wall, the Diva goes up, but 99% is not something that you really want to be fighting against.
Absolutely, because now as you're seeing the wholesale composition swap for the side of the Savannah Soyboys, they're going over to rush themselves, and they have a full 90% to still fight and just slowly build their ults, right? Because it's all the pressure is now on the other side here to win this one, the side of maize, of course, and they're already going in with these May walls.
Yeah, the May walls are going out, but it's gonna be the McCree ult here. Gonna find a lot of damage. The response from Zul though, but look at him shaking his head. He's just like, please, you guys have like 5 million HP and a shield. What am I supposed to do? Is Drayen gonna be swinging forward there? Yeah, and they're gonna be swinging forward there. Everyone's gonna be going down at 44% and counting here, and you still have some ults to work with.
Absolutely, but you did use quite a lot, right, for the side of maize. You used Deadeye, you used Blizzard, but already 54% on it, and you used your beat drop. Meanwhile, like I said, it was just all about building ults in that time. Not really sure why Zul used the Deadeye, potentially kind of just an ego moment from the DPS player thinking, I can carry this, I can win this. But you have your beat online, you're going to be closing in on your own Diva Bomb, and Drayen's already down.
Goodbye, Drayen. Oh, the pit! Oh, is it Lucio? If that was anyone else but that Lucio, they're in the pit. But they don't quite find it right there. Blame doesn't even go in the pit himself. Still just out of the crowd. There's the pit! It beckons! Once again, McMeme does go down. Titan finding the pick they need. Titan's finding two! That one's not the pit, that one's just the sound to the face. And right now the bomb goes wide, way too high to do any amount of damage, and 85% in counting. And what was a 99% to 0 start looks pretty dire. You're on the back foot and you're walking into this blizzard, walking into this beat, walking into this bomb. That's a lot of B words that are ultimates.
Yeah, and it's the B League and the blizzard's already out. The shatter, oh, it's just gonna be massive, and this fight might already be over.
Can you win? You can't. There's no way you win this fight. As Vast likes to say before he curses the team to lose, the shadow comes out, but the freeze will come out as well, and Drayen loses his life. Into the pit once again, and it's even eaten! The one saving grace you might have, McMeme killing 5 people with a blizzard, is just taken away by this diva. Amazing plays there for maize. They come back from the 99-0 deficit to extend their lead in this series, in this map, to 1-0, and potentially try to close out this series.
Yes, indeed. It's all the closing it out is pretty much the hardest part, and we're going to the house. I've spoken and talked a lot with Titan, who is on this team, and he's openly admitted their weakest point on Ilios is the ruins, and somehow through the RNG simulator that is this game, they've avoided ruins every single time. So now on the Lighthouse, looking to probably close it out 2-0. And again, you're just feeling the pressure on both of these teams. You gotta win this map, keep yourself alive, or just close out the series here and now on these rush comps.
It's beautiful, I say, as I look at this McMeme Junkrat. I said he was going to pull it out. The comfort just has to be there, right? It's not Hanamura, it's Lighthouse, but you're going to have to do it. To try and win, you're expecting the Sim Rush, and instantly, enough of that damage comes down, you lose Azu on that BAP. And again, so much damage coming down from McMeme, he's just a sniper with this Junkrat. No mines, he can't keep himself alive, but that doesn't matter. You take this first fight win, and you control this point. I wouldn't be surprised to see, yep, a swap to more separated style.
Yes, indeed, but if you're going to continue to run the Reinhardt, which we see Drayton doing, then it's going to be on Sappy to kind of eat those Junkrat grenades, right? It's one of the great things about Diva, the defense matrix will eat any projectile, and luckily all of Junkrat's kit besides the tire is that projectile that she's able to eat very, very, very well. But when you're doing wholesale comp switches like this, as you're seeing Drayton actually now go over to the Wrecking Ball, it resets your ult economy, right? So you're going to be in another position where you're just having to give point percentage while you're just trying to build your ult slowly but surely, and hopefully the Pocketed Flame can find some value here because they're going to have to play straight into the Strip Tire.
And a really nice nade there from Azu actually forces out the Immortality field because McMeme does go so low from it. Now Drayton going in there, just going for poke, going for damage. Eventually they're gonna have to do something with that, right? As Drayton trying to boop out there, ooh, so much damage coming out, but that's just more nano charge. Oh! Hit by the stray Symmetra Orb, basically a fair rocket of damage right there. And it's really just so hard for Azu to keep up. Now you have this tire. This is really dangerous here as the beat comes out in response to Drayton going forward. Now it's just going to be stuck in this corner. He's looking for something, looking for anyone. He doesn't quite find it, and now it's gone. The ult is down, but you still haven't made any progress in terms of pushing this point. It's still just impenetrable so far, but now you finally find the boop onto the Baptiste. The one shot almost comes out on the Blame, but McMeme cannot find it, and right now in that corner he's going to get taken out by Blame. Blame did such a menace on this axis here. This other plane of as the angle comes out, but now the shadow comes down, and could this be a kind of a turnaround? Blame is the only one alive, and I don't even know if he can do it by himself. Never mind, Azu is also alive. The Diva extremely low, and if there's any way they can do it, it's through this copy. You're trying to take off this point, but other people are coming back in, and this looks to turn back in the favor of Savannah Soyboys, but the bombing the point is going to clear them off. Not enough to cap the point, but enough to kind of stall a little bit, and Blame is now dead, and Drayton is now dead. And amazingly, somehow, this fight that's been going on for 25 minutes and a half seems to be almost ending here, as 99% does tick up finally, and Midwest does not seem to be the ones that will be winning this fight.
Yes, indeed, it's going to be the last touch from Drayton, the final nail in the coffin for this round, and they couldn't handle the junk. McMeme just absolutely lighting everybody up with the damage, which means we're going to the third round, but this is it for both of these teams. There's no more extra round. There's no more draw. There's no more do-over. This is it. It's decided here on Ruins, and is it going to be the Rush Mirror, or are we going to see McMeme again with
We're
this
going to see
Junkrat
McMeme
pick?
on Junkrat, right? Like, that's his thing.
I mean,
He's gonna do
hopefully, I mean, you just saw how much value you can get, and it's going to be, like I was highlighting earlier, it's on SAPB to stop that, right? You have to find the Junkrat and make sure that damage stays away long enough for your DPS to get a pick or two, just to at least negate what the Junkrat's gonna do. So, with 3 seconds left, the spawn door's opening for the final time. Let's see what these teams got in the bank.
Gonna be that Rush Mirror. One side has the Sim Junk. We've seen it work for them on that Hanamura, the turning point of this series. And then the other side, we see that McCree May, something they've been so confident on. But so much damage. Look at Drayton's HP. It has to go down. It goes down so quickly. They have to force the emote so early as well. And this is one of those points that's a little bit worse for Junkrat, but McMeme will make it work. He's pressuring these angles very, very well. Drayton being forced out, but Azu at least has the opportunity to jump to the high ground for safety, and a nice hit on the flank. He's dead. They've lost their main tank now, and now they just have to survive. They have to live a little bit longer. They lose Titan, sure. They lose Drayton. That's not what you can afford. You can't afford these kind of losses this late into the fight, and that's not what happens. You can't even find anything. You don't even find the baby diva, and now they had that point cap as well. Not looking good for Maize.
Yes, indeed, Maze's run starting to feel a little bit desperate, as they're now going to have to push directly into this Junkrat. It's going to have to be a speed boost, and it's going to have to be coordinated. Just destroying a quick little sentry turret there. Drayton probably feeling at the mercy of this Junkrat at this point. Look at the ultimate, though, that's the Savannah Soyboys have built online already. Riptire, the Sim Wall, as well as the Amplification Matrix, and the Beat all being dedicated already.
Comes the tire in the backline. It finds two squishies and a Diva Mech, and that'll be the fight going the way of Savannah Soyboys. And honestly, you wonder sometimes, maybe they aren't as confident on it. Why? Maybe you want to roll out on like a Farrakhan, right? It's pretty good on this map in some ways, and it's pretty good into this match of Junkrat, but instead of opting into this Rush Mirror, which you've seen hasn't worked out in their favor multiple times.
Yeah, and it's just the straight kind of, it just becomes the issue of, if you're going to run the Pharah, how many switches are you going to make? You need the Lucio. Oh, the Maywall, actually. This could be Drayton's chance.
Drayton, though, taking so much damage from the turrets, but a massive shadow puts everyone on the ground, and finally, it's their turn to swap this over at 70, I'm going to expect like 78, 75%. They're probably going to be swapping over here. It's going to be 76, whatever. 1% off.
Okay,
and
but for the entire side of Maize, you're okay with that. Even though you had to give up 76%, you now just want to fight with just Earth Shatter. So you're going to have everything. If you rotate your ults perfectly here, as a pause is called from Zool again, I think Zool is having those PC problems once again. You truly do hate to see it. But yeah, currently, despite being down in percentage, I'm going to give a little bit of favor to Maize here. They have the ultimates. As long as they rotate them and nobody gets picked by this Junkrat spam, they should be A-okay to do whatever they need to clutch out this round despite starting it down 76%.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing what will occur when we get back to that as that pause. Looking to get that fixed up, see if maybe Zool can have less of those PC issues again. It is the unfortunate reality of online play and of tournament play in general. It can even happen on LAN. I mean, we've all seen it. We've all known it. But yeah, looking at that setup there, they have a lot of ultimates online, and if they rotate it correctly, those A little bit of a quick look on A stream. Also, third map, third round, by the way. So we're just copying each other's storylines, huh? They couldn't differentiate the scripts for each stream, and we just that low budget. I'm just kidding. But both teams fighting for their life here. Both of these matches are elimination matches, so you're feeling the pressure right now. If you're on that pause, you are feeling very tense.
And what's very interesting as well is, what's going on A stream right now. They're essentially fighting for the right to face the winner of the match that we're streaming right here. And that's going to go down tomorrow, so make sure you do turn in tomorrow for that. Because regardless who wins, I think we're going to have close matches from both sides, right? Everybody's kind of close with each other down here in the B League. And yeah, so it's just going to be all about, as we're actually showing the A stream again, because I do believe they're entering their final fight, but we're getting right back into the action over here, even though we're not showing it. The Reinhardt's kind of just dueling each other right now.
Yeah, see, we're back in it. You see issues are fixed, and there it is, 20% and counting here. As Zul did not DC, so there was no loss of alt charge or anything. Is gonna have that Symmetra alt, which is quite strong. I mean, I think people underrate Symmetra ult.
Yeah, the Symmetra wall is phenomenal. It literally is a ginormous barrier for a reason, soaks in damage, and it spans the length of entire maps, so just continues to get that value, as well as the Sim TP value, but the wall's already out.
Wall's already out, and it's a little bit, you can just kind of kite this out pretty effectively, but the bomb finds two, because of that pin there. Frank's in this corner, does get frozen up, will be losing his life. There's no way to stop him, as right now, the tire goes down! A really nice play there from the McCree to shut down the tire before he can go off. It would take a D.Va mech and maybe another with them. A really big turnaround play here, as you get almost all of the ultimates out from Soyboys, outside of a few, but you do have that bomb still available.
Yeah, both teams invested a lot of ultimates, and now the Soyboys, they're going to have their amplification matrix. That's going to be the big thing to look out for. And Drayton is behind on the Earth Shatter charge, but can block this shatter from Frank and be the hero. I feel as though if I'm Pika, though, I'm getting enraged at this point. I'm doing so much in every fight. It's remake kills, it's bomb kills. It feels like I'm running away with it, but still just losing fights. It's ridiculous. Oh, the shatter!
The shatter is massive, puts 4 on the ground, but the bomb to cover. And Frank, he's gonna go low. He's gonna go so low, he's gonna lose his life. The shadow comes out, doesn't find anything, but they really can't push. 97%. This is the last fight here. This is your tournament life. But the beat to counter, Drain's gonna get run at, but they kite it out so well. The freeze now coming down onto this D.Va. There's nothing they can do. McMemes goes down. The McCree's aim's been so massive this entire fight, but Drayden is gone. Now you have all this tempo on your side, as the McCree ult does come out, is eaten up, but you lose your D.Va mech. Blame has that ult once again. D.Va is not in mech to stop it. This is the final fight. This is your last chance, and it looks so grim for you. After fighting through a grueling 3-map series, after getting tossed around 2-0 in the match before it, playing back-to-back matches, and you go out in such a drawn-out fight, and maize, though, is victorious once again in this lower bracket. They take the dub, and honestly, both of these teams should be incredibly proud of themselves, even if we had to say goodbye to someone, and someone was going to go home, and either way, we were going to be sad to see them go. But a really well-played series from both teams, what looked to be such a dire situation on Hanama. To turn it around like that, to full hold, that is just incredible.
And maize, I mean, they're completing this lower bracket run. When they first got sent to lower bracket, a lot of people just kind of speculated, oh, they'll just get thrown right back out again. It'll be quick and done, but they've been proving themselves here time and again, and they were pushed to the brink, not just on this map, on every map. It's been back and forth, but unfortunately, at the very end of the day, they were able to clutch out just that one fight that they needed, and, you got to be feeling good if you're the side of maize, but on the other side of it, you're Savannah Soyboys. You have nothing to be ashamed of from this match. You played your heart out and did everything you needed to. And now we just got to look forward to tomorrow's bracket, because Sunrise is going to be fighting maize. Their game just wrapped up over on the other stream. Both very good teams. And regardless of who wins that, the upper bracket is still menacingly standing there with both the Jokers and the Northern Grizzlies.
Woo. As we welcome over here Team Maize, Team Midwest, congratulations on your win here today. Another map 3 in this tournament, another nail biter, and this time you come out on top. How are you feeling?
Holy shit.
My heart, yo.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
My heart.
Oh my god, I thought I threw Hanamura so bad. I thought... Oh
No,
my god.
Hanamura was a wash. I hate that map. Things happen. Things happen.
Based
We
opinion.
moved on.
The Hanamura, you know, things happen. You don't really want to talk about it, but what I do want to talk about is Ilios, you know, going back and forth. I think this is the first time you guys have played Ruins, despite the amount of times you played on Ilios this tournament.
Yep.
Going down to the kind of final fight like that, how intense were the comms and just the pressure you felt?
Listen, we might have accidentally said, let's fucking go, like, as soon as somebody was about to touch, so, like, we were kind of...
I had to calm everyone down. I was yelling that, like, I had lamp in, like, 8 seconds, and everyone needed to play their lives. When Drayton died, I got so scared. So I was just yelling at everyone to play their life and to focus D.Va.
When I got trapped with that Mei wall, I thought I had thrown it again. Holy shit.
I had a clutch lamp when they shattered. That made me feel good.
Yeah, I was out of position. Luckily, the fucking god Azu able to clutch it out. And then I was able to come back. I think I dropped a shatter on a couple people.
Yeah. We all played very well.
That was honestly like as intense as the Canada game, and that match was also like.
Thank God I didn't have a pink spike in last fight this time.
Yeah, true. I do want to say though, shout out to Savannah Soyboys. That team is fucking
100%.
incredible. I tried out for the A team. I didn't make it, but I mean, look, what goes around comes around. I guess I knocked their B team out, but that was a hell of a game. That was honestly that you play that 100 times, you're gonna get a banger every time.
100%.
Nice. And I mean, looking forward here, the other match just wrapped up. Sunrise takes a victory over Pachifornia Palms. Looking towards that match, I mean, what are you guys kind of thinking going into that? I mean, it's another strong team here in the lower bracket. You guys made two wins here in lower bracket so far. And how are you guys kind of feeling about the next match?
We're gonna take this momentum. I'm gonna look into some Sunrise VODs, see what we got going from them. Theory crossed and plan out. We're just gonna go with our momentum, play our game, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't seen too much Sunrise. I've peeked into a couple of their games. I hosted one of the games, so I've seen a little bit of Sunrise. At least I think I did the Sunrise Crazy Capybaras, but Sunrise is a team where like Titan knows a couple people in them. So I mean, it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited for it. We just gotta. They were close against Northern Grizzlies, and we know how that is. So I think, honestly, I feel bad for Soyboys because they could very easily. They're a top 4 team in my opinion. I think. I mean, unfortunately, they just got knocked out. But I think not to underestimate the Jokers, but Northern Grizzlies and Sunrise, I think, are some of the toughest teams we got to go up against. Obviously, we don't have to worry about the Jokers and Northern Grizzlies for a bit, but I mean, I'm ready for Sunrise. I mean, we already did better than I think anybody expected us to, and that's at the end of the day, like, that's good. That's not good enough for me, but like, I'm not gonna walk away from this tournament disappointed. We're doing it for Teku. We're doing it for Burns, I guess. So.
Burns, Sag, my B League and my A League Sag. We speedran it though. Speedran it.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. We almost speedran it too, but.
Nah, you guys popped off though. You guys can't speedrun. You guys popped off too hard.
Yeah.
Megalas, you have anything you want to do before we close off shortly?
I mean, nothing really. Just once again, just congrats to you guys. Hopefully, you're ready for those matches tomorrow. Because even if you're able to beat down Sunrise, who are looking to be a formidable team, you're still looking at 2 games after that before you can crown yourselves the champions. But your lower bracket run so far has been inspirational, to say the least.
Yeah, we gotta be tough. I mean, we've had the hardest schedule. I mean, we will literally have played the most games if we make it to finals. We played 2 on day 1, 2 today, 3 tomorrow if we go to finals. Like it's been. I think that's honestly been not necessarily a plus, but it's been something where we're just like it gives us time to like learn how.
We get warmed up.
Yeah, we've had a lot of time to warm up, but we really gotta get some warm up in before Sunrise. They're gonna be a tough opponent.
Nice. Again, thank you for joining us here, and congratulations on your victory and your progressing forward in this tournament. Of course, we just saw that record earlier. Again, we have maize here versus Sunrise tomorrow, along with other finals matches. We have the Jokers versus Northern Grizzlies. That should also be a banger, and then of course the other matches that follow. And we'll crown a grand final. We'll crown a champion tomorrow, so that'll be exciting again. But again, thank you very much for joining us here for this interview. You guys have been an inspiration in this lower bracket, and again, congratulations for your victory. And go back and celebrate a little bit before your next match tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're gonna have some fun tomorrow, definitely. that was a game.
Yeah, but once again, looking forward to tomorrow. We do have we're going to be having, I believe it's one stream tomorrow. If I'm not mistaken, it is one stream tomorrow. And we're going to be having, there's going to start out with those lower semis, and we're going to be following up with the upper finals, lower finals, and then grand finals. So that starts, it's around 6 p.m. tomorrow, so be sure to tune in there on the A stream, on the Bad Pachifornia League Twitch. It's going to be a banger of the matches, and I've been Worstcast, I've been joined by Megalas, and it's been an honor to cast with you. It's been a lot of fun. We had a fun banger of a match to cast. So how are you feeling at the end of it?
I'm feeling very hype. Honored to cast with you as always, and I'm ready for tomorrow. We got to finally crown a champion.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see who does come out on top. Of course, that upper bracket, the Joker's looking very strong, but can't count any team that's left here. The final 4 teams that are left, you can't count on any of them. Any of them could be crowned the champion, and that's what we're looking to see tomorrow. But again, thank you for watching here on the B stream. Thank you for your support and supporting this B League. It's been a lot of fun watching these players. They've been playing their hearts out, so it's good to see everyone coming out to support them. And we will see you all tomorrow, and I hope you have a great night.
The Bad Pachifornia League has grown. It has become home to many from all walks of life, from all around the world. And now, to celebrate where we came from, to celebrate who we are, we have created a new tournament to see what the world has to offer. 12 teams from around the world, trialed and refined to their very best, will now face off against one another in a double elimination bracket. 2 strikes and you're out. It's a worldwide competition. And in a worldwide competition, the only thing you want to strike is gold. Welcome to the BPL World Cup.
Oh my god, it's a 5K from Toxinated with a pulse bomb!
But Sage is hot mustard, and all of a sudden this is anybody's fight. Drip difference are still in it. Massive pulse bomb from Sage! What is that? Sage clutching it up.
Lennox holding on to the brush, gets 3, Sunny from behind with 3 with a huge barrage, taking a crazy off angle once again. There's a lot of ults, there's a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter because it's just going to be a massive high noon from Yancha.
But Signet hits another massive shatter. Oh my lord. He's so good. He's just so good.
A pretty big flux. The trance is there to keep the team alive. Oh, the bombs, the bombs.
Oh my god!
Wings, they got some wind in their sails as well. They got grab coming in, it will land perfectly, and the windows fly through in terms of damage.
That's a 4K in that Nitro. I have absolutely insane. Pomku with the 6K.